Hey, what's good? Everybody decided to go live a couple of minutes early. So, can you hear me? Am I coming in clear? Is it kind of crackly? Should I go back out and come back in? Let me know if I'm good. Give me the thumbs up. We can keep it moving. I hate to have people's speakers crackling the whole time, like, hey, man, it's too loud. So, let me know, and we're going to keep this moving. We got a good show today, man. Like I said, oh, thank you, my man, Frank, brother. I appreciate that, my man. Down in Casa Grande, getting it in, down there working hard. I still got to get you pictures of my truck, dog. I got to get you some pictures of the truck so I can show you what I need you to do. Like I said, I'm gonna pay you pretty well for it, man. It's just a couple of little things I need you to do, man. What's up, Murder, my man? Good. Your driver Ken, Murder Ken, Duato, everybody's in the building this morning. Like I said, man, this is one of those early live streams. But I had something on my mind, and we got to get this out the way before the day starts. I'm thinking we need to start really paying closer attention to antitrust law. It's something major going on right now. I know we hammer on that on this channel, man. Antitrust law, but Google's going through it right now. So many places are going through it right now. Corporations are going through antitrust law right now, and I think Uber and Lyft, they're going to start going through. Yep, Google's doing it. Yep, exactly, Murder Man. Like I said, and I got a funny feeling that Uber and Lyft are going to have to deal with antitrust within the next year. I got a funny feeling. Oh, yeah, Mark, I already sent those shirts out last week, man. I sent it out last week. I got the tracking number for it, so I'll track it for you just to make sure, I knew where to go. Once this live stream is over with, I'll send you something, man. But I sent that out last week. So he said, just went through one? Yeah. Oh, yeah, Duato, for people that don't know, y'all just dropped a short this morning. Fine, because somebody was telling me last week, they said, you need to talk to a human at Uber. Don't let the AI do it. So I talked to a human. I said, hey, let me just talk to a human. Sent the human a message or whatever. And they were like, oh, we don't know what's the problem, why your truck hasn't been added on there all summer. So I didn't even have to log back in. I mean, I just went to the other screen. They had everything on there. Uber X, Comfort, XL, Double XL. They had everything on there. AI all summer had me on deliveries and connect. That was it. Now I like to have a lot of my both apps running at all times so I can see what's going on. Because the other day, even with Juan Vargas, he was showing how both apps were going, and Uber hides surge a lot. He was getting 3-4 mile trips like $15, $18, 3-4. They're hiding surge everywhere. Those little short trips help out. So to knock out those small trips, you don't got to convert those. They're pretty fair trips. 3-4 miles, $18. I could do that all day. You ain't got to worry about converting those. But when you start getting the 70 cent a mile trips, 99 cent a mile, no, man. Oh, yeah, man. I'm telling you, Mark, man, this channel's doing okay, man. I think YouTube, and this is what I think, man. A lot of people are starting to complain about being throttled on YouTube. YouTube throttles us just like, Uber and Lyft will. If there's people at the YouTube headquarters that I guess they get paid based on ads or whatever, I don't know. But anytime you start talking about topics that they don't like, they want to shadow your channel down, which is cool with me. But I'm still about free speech. You can throttle me down all you want to. Like I said, I still make more money driving than I make doing YouTube. Some people do YouTube as a career. So, I mean, there was a period when big YouTubers' channels were getting like 4,000 views, and that's it. A video would get 4,000 views. A video would get 6,000 views, and they're big channels. Now you're starting to see those channels now getting 100,000 views again. A video dropping 89,000 views, 116,000 views, when they used to only get like 4,000 or 5,000. And these are big channels. They were doing that to everybody, man. All summer they were doing that. So I was like, oh yeah, they'll shadow ban and demonetize, man. They'll do it. So, oh yeah. But what I was going to talk about, this right, the federal judge rules against Google in the massive antitrust lawsuit. I'm going to start with that. Well, first, let me see something real quick. Let's go look at, come on, y'all. Come on. We already on I'm going to share a channel. I'm going to share a page with y'all. Hold up for a second. I'm about to share something with y'all real quick. What up, Craig? What's good? All right, this is what we're going to start out this morning with right here with some Lyft stock. Look at this, man. They coming out the gate going in the hole. They opened at $9.76 is where they closed at last week. $9.76. They're already down $9.73. Market's only been open for like 7 minutes. So it's like they're down, 0.03%. And the market's only been open for a few minutes. They didn't start going. Nobody's trying to buy it right off the bat. So I'm thinking what's going to happen today with Lyft stock. I'm thinking it might go up to probably about, let's say 980, 985. And then it's going to just like drop. It's going to hit the floor. I think it might make it up to like 985, 990 today. And then it's just going to bottom out. That's what I think it's going to do. That's just me though, man. That's me. Oh yeah, I saw the fake crowds, man. I saw those AI pictures of the fake crowd. And this is the thing. A lot of people are finally coming out saying that the campaign she's running, like, I don't think she's aware of it. I think she paid all these, because like I said, she's not a smart lady. So she's hiring people around her that she thinks are smart. But what she's hiring is a bunch of cons, people who know she's not smart enough to see through things. So she's showing up at these different events. There's not a lot of people. So what her event organizers are doing, they're having like parties and festivals and DJs and music and singers. And there is not just her showing up. They're having like festivals or something and just saying, hey, and while you're there, Kamala's going to speak to you, kind of stuff like that. So I don't think, she's aware of what's going on, because she knows her numbers are tanking, but she's hiring all of these people. And these people are like, we're going to help you, Kamala. I swear we're going to help you. Just, pay us the money and we're going to get your numbers up. We're going to get people to show up at your thing. So she pays all these people, and all these people are getting money hand over fist, like playing her like a sucker. They're using AI pictures. They're paying for people to show up as actors. They had a Craigslist ad out for actors to show up at her events. So she's thinking all these people are supporting her. So, and she's making everybody, and everybody's thinking all these people support, when her camp, it's people in her camp who are paying all of these people to do this stuff. It's stupid, man. I'm sitting there like, wow, they sitting there playing this lady while her campaign is paying all these people to do all of this work for, and they're just running off with the money and just lying. They're clever people. They're clever. They're not smart people. They're clever. So they're lying to her. Oh yeah, they got Craigslist ads out, all that shit, man. Say people comment and Weeble are thinking this is a short squeeze play. Oh, I think it might be. It might be. There was the Jeffy app. Oh yeah, we're gonna have the Jeffy app coming out. And man, see, look, already, man, Lyft is not gonna do well today. Let's go take a look at Uber real quick. Let's see what Uber's doing, if Uber's coming out the gate any differently. Okay, they're starting out the day the same way, just going down. They closed at 68.54 last week. They're down to 68.33 right now. So yeah, they're going down, starting the morning off kind of crashing. But I'm thinking they're going to go up and then just come crashing down to the ground, like right after lunch, right? Either after or before lunch. They're going to hit the ground because nobody's buying that these companies are really as valuable as they're saying they are. Nobody's buying it. People are like, dude, it's not possible that you guys this is the CEO of Tuber, said you guys have you're forcing all these illegals to drive on your app so you can generate profits, and you're forcing out American drivers who've been fighting for money through protests and everything. Everybody's been fighting for money, and you're kicking all these people out. If you were really doing as well as you say you are as a company, if you're really making way more money than you've ever made before, why are the drivers being paid less? Because they're raising prices. And I was reading an article today, they're raising prices across the boards for everybody during a period of inflation, like all companies, grocery stores, everybody's raising prices. And one guy said the only solution to high prices is higher prices. So what they're doing is they're forcing people to keep buying these rides and forcing people to keep doing things, hoping it just makes everything crash so they can start over fresh again. And that's what I think. So remember, y'all, without Lyft, there's no Uber. When you see stocks, keep in mind they're the same company. Uber will most likely throttle drivers to allow more traffic through Lyft. Exactly, Omerta. And we all say that, man. Drivers who know what's going on know that these companies are the same company. We're not stupid, because we see when we're out there how the surges are going. Like Uber will surge in an area, but Lyft won't surge in the area. Then Lyft will surge in that area, but Uber won't surge. They're moving drivers around, strategically moving drivers. They're the exact same company. They're saying, hey, move all your Lyft drivers out the way. Because just like me, I didn't have Uber all summer. I only had Lyft. So there's a lot of drivers that have one app and not the other app. I was proof of it. So what they do is they throw surge somewhere to just get me out of the way. Hey, man, get all your drivers out of the way. So they force all the Lyft people to go chase a surge over in the east part of town. That means there's not a lot of Uber drivers, because whoever's got Uber and Lyft, they might stay on that side of town, But now you got a shortage of drivers over here. You can jack the prices up for everybody, saying, oh, we got a shortage of drivers. We got to jack the price up. That's how they're doing it. And they're manipulating the market. They're going back and forth, man. It's like, forget that. What? Hold up. Uber Denver this morning. Rider pays 116. Driver gets offered 29. I'm good. That's crazy. 116 and driver gets $29. Man, they starting out the day shitty. They trying to fight this stock problem. That's what they doing, man. They know they lied. Look at them down to 971. They're already down a nickel already from what they closed at last week. Now they're down 6 cents. Man, yeah, they're it's gonna be a rough day for these apps. I think it's gonna be a rough end of summer. It's gonna be a rough end of summer. Yep. If Lyft dies, expect the government for monopoly. And that's what we should, I want to kind of discuss that. I want to go into this other thing right here. Let me see. What is this? Antitrust law. All right. Okay. So I'm going to share this one instead right here. I'll share this right here. This is what I try to tell people. Let me open this up. Okay, that's antitrust law right there. If you could see that on your things or whatever. I don't know if people can or can't, but it says antitrust laws are a collection of federal laws that regulate businesses to promote competition and prevent monopolies. You should be promoting competition. You have to promote competition because it keeps prices down. It keeps everything fair. When you limit competition, like throttling drivers, deactivating drivers, getting rid of drivers, not letting us cancel, you're not promoting competition. You're trying to fix the market. And that's what Uber and Lyft is doing. I'm telling you, this is all antitrust law. This is what the Sherman Antitrust does. The law aims to protect consumers from unfair business practices that can harm them, such as predatory pricing, tie-in agreements, and mergers that could lessen competition. Uber and Lyft, mergers that could lessen competition. Antitrust laws also ensure that businesses have incentives to keep prices down, quality up, and operate efficiently. So you need to have antitrust laws that ensure your business is keeping the prices down, keeping the quality up, and you're operating efficiently. These apps don't have that at all. And like I said in the very beginning of this video, I think Uber and Lyft are going to have antitrust law issues within the next year or two. And it's egregious. We see it all what's happening right now. We see it all, man. Some of my W-2 was good, Delta Roots. And I'm looking at how Uber and Lyft function. They function as if, and a lot of people say, oh, they think antitrust is just about monopoly. It's not about that. It's about you have to have competition in America. Competition is what makes things, the quality better. Because if you want somebody to buy your shit, you're going to have to fix it, make it right, make it better. But if you're fixing the market, like Uber and Lyft will fix the market to where they don't really have to fix their product. They can have immigrants, they can have busted cars, they can have people illegally on the app, they can have shitty drivers, because they have the market cornered where the smaller apps can't get in. So if the smaller apps can't get in, Uber and Lyft are it's a duopoly, but it's only to prevent monopolies, not duopolies. A duopoly is almost legal. A monopoly is not. But the fact that we know Uber and Lyft are the same company because we drive and we know what's going on, technically in our eyes, they're a monopoly. We know that because they do have predatory pricing. They call it surge pricing. We call it predatory pricing. Just like up here. Where was that at in Denver this morning? The rider pays 116, driver gets offered $29. That's predatory pricing. That's predatory price. That's against antitrust. Because when you have antitrust laws, it fixes everything as far as the Federal Trade Commission goes. It helps trade. When we make money, we don't throw all our money into one company who's sucking us dry. Uber and Lyft are sucking the neighborhoods dry. This is what they're doing. And even one right here says the antitrust laws prescribe unlawful mergers and business practices in general terms, leaving courts to decide which ones are illegal based on the facts of each case. And that's why Uber keeps losing, and they don't want to go to court. They keep selling out of court because they know they're violating FTC law. They're violating the Sherman Antitrust law. They don't want to go to court. And that's why I think, us just talking about antitrust is going to help more drivers understand we're not employees. We're contractors. So you got to start looking at antitrust law, business law, things that deal with business. And you can research it yourself. I go through it all the time. And you start seeing in the industry we work in that it's a lot. All we deal with all day is antitrust law. It says right here in simple terms, antitrust laws are regulations that encourage competition by limiting the market power of any particular firm. So if these laws encourage competition. It should encourage me to start my own small ride share company, my own small ride service company. I should be able to give the customers, an option, a counter offer to what they're paying, 116 and I'm getting 29. How about we do it like this? Instead of you paying 116, I'll do it for 85. That encourages competition because it makes Uber and Lyft do what? Say, well, we need to drop our prices down, not only drop our prices down, but make our wages more competitive. We need to pay our drivers better. That's what antitrust law does. It balances the equation because you can limit the market power of any particular firm. When you got Uber and you got Lyft and they have all the market power, they're violating antitrust law with everything they do, which is why they keep settling. And like I think it was the other day, I was thinking about starting a live stream series called Late Night Legal or something like that, Legal Late Night. But see, I'm not an attorney. I just like law. I appreciate law. And if there was some attorneys out there that stayed up as late as I did, 10, 11, 12 at night doing live streams, I like to talk to more people about law when it comes to car accidents, when it comes to how we conduct business and stuff like that. And if we don't get involved in it, Joe, I was just about to say that. It's if the local governments that should get involved, also the people, city council, mayor, and state legislature could make a big impact. I was about to say that if we don't understand laws and we don't get involved in it ourselves, the government's going to step in and take over because they're going to make it seem like we don't know what we're talking about. We don't know what we're doing. So they say, hey, these people aren't figuring it out themselves. We figured it out ourselves. We go get, permits. We go get our own commercial insurance. You go market for yourself. You get business cards. You do a whole lot of stuff. You do a whole lot of stuff to make sure you're competitive in your business. You're not an employee. If you're an employee, then the non-compete agreements, what the FTC outlawed, non-compete agreements are what you deal with if you're an employee. But because we're all independent individual contractors, we don't have to worry about it. We can be competition. We're independent contractors. We could be competition. And that's what I try to force people. What up, Bighorn Kev, my brother? Say good morning, everyone. Private rides is where it's at. Clients know your worth, makes you bigger profits. There you go right there, brother. And that's what the Sherman Antitrust is about. It's about drivers. Me and Bighorn Kev, we might want to start a small business. That means too much marketing power or too much market power over Uber and Lyft to prevent us from starting our business and telling us that we can't go out and solicit customers because you guys don't have enough power. We have all the power. You have to drive on our app. If you do an off-app ride, we'll penalize you. You can't force us to do rides on your app when we can give riders another option. Hey, I got commercial insurance. I can do this myself. I got a permit. I actually have another app that instead of you paying 116 on this app, you'll be paying 78 and I'll get all of the 78. So all you're doing is giving customers options. The Constitution, well, not the Constitution, but the antitrust laws that we have on the books, it gives you that right to be out in the streets, to conduct business the way a business person conducts business. You don't have to be an employee. You don't have to be scared of Uber and Lyft. I don't know. I can't cancel this ride. You can cancel for any reason. Any reason. You don't need to give a rider can cancel for any reason. You don't have to call Uber and Lyft and say, hey, excuse me, is it okay if I cancel this ride? You don't have to ask. You can cancel. If they get mad at you, cancel. That's their problem. They can get mad at it. But you have a right to cancel any ride you want. You have a right to decline any ride you want to decline. They can't be like, oh, man, I'm not going to make my bonuses today if you keep canceling rides. Well, you have to make it more fair. You can't do predatory pricing. $116 to get to the airport and you're giving me $29. That's, $80 right there you're taking and telling these people right there $80 in fees for a ride that only really costs $29. That's predatory pricing. That's why I'm like, within the next 2 or 3 years, Uber and Lyft, they're going to be in court for Sherman antitrust violations. These companies will be broken up. There will be smaller apps out there getting bigger market share because once these two companies are dissolved and made into smaller companies, especially with Uber, I think Uber more than Lyft because Uber's worldwide. And that's why a lot of countries don't want Uber there because they come in and they try to take over everything. They want to do Uber chores. They want to do Uber Eats. They want to do Uber Health. They want to, whatever people do, they want to take a part of that money. Next is going to be Uber Breathe. You want to breathe some air today? All right, then make sure you pay your $2.99 fee and you can go outside and breathe some air for $2.99. Uber wants to do whatever they can do to get money out of anybody for doing the common stuff we do. If you want to paint your neighbor's house, you know what? You got to do Uber service now. Got to do Uber chores. You can't go paint a friend's house. You got to start using, if you paint a friend's house outside of our app without commercial insurance, you're going to, we can deactivate you for painting a house outside of the app. We've been giving people rides, but like I said, we got 4-door cars. Some people got two-door cars. We got back seats. We got everything. So why are we, so scared to allow somebody to get into our car? And we got people questioning us all the time. Well, if they get in your car, they can't give you any money. They have to only get in for free. If somebody gets in your car, you got to let them ride for free. No matter who it is, they got to ride for free. Nobody ever controlled my cars out of the 35 years of me driving. Nobody's ever controlled my cars. Nobody's ever called me and said, hey, Jeff, hey, man, are you going to be giving anybody a ride today? Like, I don't know. I got to go to the mall. Make sure you don't charge them nothing. Make sure it is all for free. Because if they give you $5, that's commercial. If they give you $10 for gas, that's commercial. If they buy you a pair of pants when you get there, that's all commercial business, Jeff. Make sure you give them ride for free today, okay? I'll be like, okay, whatever. Nobody's ever called me and told me you can't give people rides for free in your car. Nobody calls nobody. It's weird shit. Nobody calls nobody. But yet you get on the internet, all you see is people, well, you guys can't be charging people for no ride. You can't be. And that's what they do, social programming. That's what they do to trick you, to make you think that you can't compete with the business that's already out there in any way, shape, or form. If you do an off-app ride, I wish they would tell me, Jeff, if you do an off-app ride, we're going to deactivate you. Please tell me that, because I would like to screenshot that when I go to court and say, due to antitrust law violation, they're not keeping prices fair because they're limiting competition. I'm competition with them. I'm a private driver. Even though I'm on their platform, I'm still a private driver. They contract with taxis, and taxis are in competition with them. They contract with buses and airplanes, everything. So they contract with the competition to get the competition to do work with them. That's working together with your competition. And you're creating an environment with that. It's okay to work with your competition. But what they want to do is make you think that if you're in competition and you're on our platform, you have to do what we say. No, that's called employment. That's different. We can still compete on the same field. If you're paying me fair, I'll do the ride. Hey, $27 for, 12 miles, I'll do it. $27 for 12, I'll do it. I don't have a problem with that. I'll do it. But if you tell me, oh yeah, we're going to actually give you $12 for the 12 miles, but you're collecting 40 for it, I have a problem with that now. I have a problem with that. You're charging $3.50 or whatever for a mile, but you're giving me $1 a mile out of this deal. I'm going to step up my competitor mode right now. I'm going to put on my competitor hat and be like, hey, listen, I don't know how much they charge you, but they only give me $12. I used to do this for about $25. I mean, we could do it for $25, $30. I'm going to go into competitor mode because the Sherman antitrust law said I am allowed to compete. So fair pricing is created, not predatory pricing. Fair market is created. It helps the consumers. It helps everybody in business. When you start price fixing, that's when you violate. When you threaten somebody that you're going to deactivate them or sue them that's when you start violating the Sherman Antitrust Act. And we see a lot of that going on these apps, a lot of that going on in rideshare. And like I said, the clerks and these little phone people, whoever, customer service call center people who are in like Bangladesh and all these other places, they don't know about the Sherman Antitrust Act. Like, I don't know their laws in India. I don't know a single law in India. I don't know. I think one law is you can't kill a cow or something like that. I know that law. You got to let cows like walk in the middle of the street, do whatever you want to do. But for the most part, I don't know laws in India. So how can we call customer service owner and expect them to know about the Sherman Antitrust Act? Everybody we talk to in India on these customer service calls are from India. They're from other countries. They don't know about our laws over here. So I don't expect them to say, hey, and that's why I tell everybody, when you get deactivated, everybody's who's hit me up and said, Jeff, I just got deactivated. I told him exactly what to say. I said, this is what you message the people. When I had Mark on the phone, I was talking to Mark on the phone. I know Lyft was listening in because I'm talking to Mark on the phone and I'm telling him exactly what to say. As I'm talking to him on the phone, they reactivated him. They're listening to what we're saying. I tell them about the Antitrust Act. We're on American soil. We got the Sherman Antitrust Act that prevents companies like that from preventing us to compete, allowing competition, allowing us to go out and keep the market fair. These people don't know about that. They don't know. Oh yeah, Bangladesh is also rioting. They're in an uprising right now. Okay, I'm gonna see that. See now here, and it says, what do antitrust laws prohibit? This law prohibits conspiracy that unreasonably restrain trade. Under the Sherman Act, agreements among competitors to fix prices or wages, rig bids, or allocate customers, workers, or markets are criminal violations. Listen to this again. What do the antitrust laws prohibit? Think about Uber and Lyft when I read this. This law prohibits conspiracies between Uber and Lyft that reasonably restrain trade, deactivating drivers, doing what they are doing in New York with the TLC, like temporarily deactivating everybody so they can't get online. Conspiracies that unreasonably restrain trade. They did that in New York with the TLC. They were restraining business, restraining trade by kicking all these drivers offline. Both Uber and Lyft wouldn't let nobody go online, saying, oh, the TLC told us this, and the TLC never said that. Now, under the Sherman Act, agreements among competitors to fix prices of wages between Uber and Lyft to fix prices of wages, rig bids, allocate customers, workers, or markets are criminal violations. So if Uber and Lyft are saying this is how we're going to make money, we're going to raise the fares and we're going to drop the wages, we're going to use more immigrants, that's all antitrust violation. Everything they're doing is antitrust. And this is why I wanted to do that late night legal, because late night legal gives you something to think about, gives you something to think about. You lay down, you think about it. Ben and Lisa, they reactivated me this morning. Now, Ben, did you actually message them, or did you just wake up and you was reactivated? Because like, man, that's what I'm saying, Mike, right there. I'm doing a free ride. This money gave me was a big ass tip. And under Trump, that tip will be non-taxable. I'm doing all charity rides. Every ride is a tip. It's like, well, how much this ride cost? 50 cents? 50 cents just to get me here. And then if you give me the $50 after that, $50 and 50 cents, I'm only taxed on the 50 cent. That's it. And only taxed on the 50 cent if my expenses don't exceed 50 cent. If my expenses exceed 50 cent in revenue, then I don't have taxes at all because I'm operating at a loss. It's like, no business, no business. This is what we do. This is fear taxes only work on the weak. I'm telling you, Daytona, man. And knowledge is power, man. Knowledge is power. That's why I run this channel the way I run it. We got a lot of weak people out there, a lot of scared people, a lot of people who have bosses their whole life breathing down their neck. Make sure you use a blue folder and not a black folder. Like, motherfucker, don't you worry about what color folder I use. You will get it when I'm done with it. Make sure it's in a black folder, not a blue folder. Motherfucker, it's going to be in what it's going to be in. And that's just how we operate. We're not, micromanaging people. We got a lot of weak people involved in rideshare. We got a lot of weak people involved in gig work, and they don't understand that this is a multi-trillion-dollar business. I don't want a piece of this $1 trillion. I want a piece of this trillion. How can I get a piece of this trillion? Oh, you need to ride to the airport, $45. This morning I had Uber XL on just because I could turn it on just to see what was going on. $13 to the airport. $13 from Arizona. Me and Jamil, this window's kind of open. Me and Jamil, we sit down at Arizona Grand all the time, and we give $35, $40 rides to the airport. $35, $40 rides from Arizona Grand to the airport. Uber XL offered me $13 for that ride. They're a whole $20 short. I'm like, no, I'm not doing an Uber XL from Arizona Grand to the airport for $13. In my big ass truck, I do that for $25, $30 all day, every day. So why are you going to offer me that? It's a weak people out there would take that. They would take that like, oh man, say I wake up and boom, they said I have 5 days to show proof. Yeah. Weak people wake up, and weak people, they get up there and they, oh man, I'll take the $13 if that's what they're going to offer me. No, the Sherman Antitrust Act says you got to keep competition fair. You can't unreasonably price these trips. If you know you're gouging people, and you know you gouging people, and you know you're not paying a driver that much, you know these fares are not that much, that's antitrust violation. No business. Knowledge is power. We dropping knowledge over here all the time. And if anybody doubts antitrust, one time it was somebody in the comments one day, Uber and Lyft ain't got nothing to do with antitrust. And I was like, man, if you don't shut the fuck up, get off my page. It's like, through anti-competitive behavior, it says, what are the most common antitrust violations? Though anti-competitive behavior can take many forms, two of the most common seen in the district are price fixing and bid rigging, instances in which competitors agree to set prices for goods or service. Don't that sound like what Uber and Lyft does? They set the prices. Okay, this is how much we're going to pay our drivers. This is how much we're going to pay our drivers. And it's like we all getting throttled to the same. No matter which app you go to, you get throttled to almost the same dollar amount, no matter which app you go to. Because when you go to Massachusetts, what do they say? $32.50 on Lyft or Uber? Either $32.50. So according to antitrust law, that's called price fixing and bid rigging, in which competitors agree to set prices for goods or services. So if you guys are in Massachusetts agreeing to say we're going to pay drivers $32.50 no matter which app they're on, then you're not competing with each other to get the best drivers. You're not competing with each other to even get drivers from each other. You're working with each other. You're competitors who are fixing the market. You're not creating a competitive market so we can go get. Uber should be like, I need more drivers. Pay more to get more drivers over here. Lyft should be like, you know what? We want more drivers. Let's pay more drivers to get them over here. But they don't do that. They fix it. They say, you know what? This is how much we should be paying drivers every hour. No matter which app you're on, they're going to pay you the same amount. They throttle you. Yep, apps throttle every rider to keep you capped hourly, no matter what your rider pays. And this is how we know. This is how we know that this is all antitrust violations and why they won't go to court, why they want to keep doing this. Why do you think, Tony West is running around with Kamala Harris right now? He's trying to prevent what he knows is coming down the pipe. He knows, just like when Trump had Sean O'Brien at the RNC, he knows what's coming down the pipe. I'm just a driver. Do you know all of these people, all of these agencies, they've got attorneys, they got antitrust attorneys looking at Uber and Lyft with a fine-tooth comb saying, we're about to make a killing off of these people. All they're doing is antitrust violations. We're going to I'm nothing but a driver. I just put on serpentine belts and shit like that in my spare time, and I see it. How can somebody putting on serpentine belts, messing around with 10 millimeter sockets and shit, see antitrust violations and everything? You don't think highly intelligent attorneys see this? They know exactly what's happening. So it's like, man, this is all Jeff. My rate card in New Orleans for Lyft is 77 cents per mile and 16 cents per minute. And the base pay is, oh yeah, I tell people off the bat, hey, this is what I'll do it for. The result of private rides being effective. Oh yeah. And if we keep going out there and we keep letting people know we are the market. Every time you get in somebody's car, we are the market. It says, what is antitrust for dummies? This is funny. And it says, antitrust laws are statutes developed by governments to protect consumers from predatory business practices and ensure fair competition. Antitrust laws are applied to a wide range of questionable business activities, including market allocation, bid rigging, price fixing, and monopolies. And that's why when, whoever it was got on my page a long time ago and was like, Uber and Lyft have nothing to do with Sherman antitrust. They don't have nothing to do with antitrust law. These are the people who they belong on other channels. Now they can come here and they can listen in and kind of get an idea of, what intelligent conversation sounds like. But if you think antitrust is about trust as far as saying, hey man, you gonna walk my dog today? Sure. Okay, I trust you. I trust that you will. That's not antitrust. That's you making an agreement with your son to go walk the dog later today. Antitrust is you can go through the whole thing about antitrust. What is the primary purpose of antitrust? It's to promote these laws promote vigorous competition and protect consumers from anti-competitive mergers and business practices. This is what antitrust is. We see it all the time in rideshare. We see it in gig work. Anybody who doesn't see it doesn't really understand law. They don't understand business. They've been employed so long, they're indoctrinated. They think, well, it's antitrust if they tell us it's antitrust. No, people are going to try to skirt the system. They know law. Like I tell people, the only reason why Lyft is even in America is because America has Sherman antitrust laws. No other country has Sherman antitrust laws. We do. If Uber was here by themselves, Uber would be a monopoly and be broken up immediately. The only reason why Uber and Lyft are always at each other's throats all the time is to create this illusion that they're competitors. But yet David Risher even said, hey, if you miss your reservation, we'll give you $100 to use with Uber. Are you helping your competitor? You giving your people $100 to use with Uber. That's your competitor. When he said that, that should have been a red flag for everybody to go, oh man, these two are working together. Because they're going to give you $100 to use with Uber if you miss your reservation. Wow, man, they're not really competitors. They're not trying to beat each other up. They're walking with each other. They're beating. We're the true competitors to them. Drivers are the true competitors to them. That's the result of being offered private rides. Well, let's go back in and look at this Lyft stock real quick. Like I said, I like to keep this Lyft stock on. Here we go, right here. Lyft stock. Wow. What did we say? Did we not say it was going to start tanking today? Did we not say it was going to tank? Let me open that up some. Holy crap. That is nuts. $9.56. Didn't we say it was going to tank today? Wait a minute. Let me close this down something like this. Come on, thing. There we go. Wow. We said it was going to tank today. Wow. This is crazy. This is crazy. Because they closed at 976 last week. Now, I said 2 weeks ago it was going to drop to $10. I said it was at 1238. I said it's going to drop to 10 and build back up to 12. It dropped to 10 and it kept going down. My girl Severa, she was like, I don't know, Jeff. I think it's going to hit 9, and it hit $9.08. I was like, damn, Severa, you called that one. People should be listening to drivers. We know this stock better than the stock market. People know this stock. And Uber's down to 68.26. They down 0.41. Lyft is almost down a whole 2% today. They're at 1.9%. And it's only 10 o'clock. So they only been open for 30 minutes. They've only been open for 30 minutes. They're already down almost 2% on the day. So either people are shorting them earlier in the day and going to buy up as much as they can low, get it up to about $10, $9.90, $10 and sell. If they can make 50 cents on, let's say, 1 million shares, you just made $500,000. Because if you make $1 per share on $1 million, you made $1 million. If you buy 1 million shares right now at 956, get it back up to 1006, sell, you made $500,000 in half of a day because you still got after lunch to go. So you can make $500,000 in half of a day by letting it tank and then bringing it back up to $10. This is what you do. Hey, you're going to make $500,000 a day? Sure. This is what we do. Well, let it drop down to about 950, buy it up to 1006. I mean, you can go 1 down, you can go 2 down, you can go a half point down, whatever it takes, get it to go down because you know it's got to go back up to 12. Because I think, hey, it's 12, it's worth $12 a share. Lyft is probably worth $12 a share. Right now, they're making their money on the low. They're in a safe zone. They're between $9 and $10. That's a safe zone for trading because it could go either way. So you can play the short game for a little bit and keep buying down, making money on the way down because you know it's going to go back up to 10 at least. Gets back up to 10. Hey, we're back in the money again. You keep doing that all day. That's $500,000 each way. And you're just messing with 50 cents with 1 million shares. Derek just did 1 million shares and 1 million shares the other day. So if you got 1 million shares, you're doing 50 cents each way. You just made $1 million just going down and back up, down and back up, down and back up all day long. If you do that 4 times all day, down up, that's once. That's $1 million. You do that 4 times. You made $4 million in one day using the same million shares you got. You're just moving your million shares back and forth. Hey, drop to 950, sell it or buy it. Now bring it back up, buy it, sell it, go back down, buy it, go back up, sell it, go back down. And you do that all day. You just made like $4 or $5 million with the same shares you started the day with. So you can't make $4 million from going from $9. And if you buy 1 million shares, it's got to go all the way up to $13. It's not going to go from 9 to 13. That's way too much. But it can go from 9. It can go from 950 to 9, 950 to 9, 950 to 9 all day long. It could do that all day long and you can make $4 million. So it's like, hey, this is what it is, man. This is what they're doing. This is how they make their money in the stock market. They just do shorts. You do puts and calls, buys and sells. You're just going back and forth. A lot of the people who don't trade stock, they think of just the value, the market cap. Oh, man, how much is this worth? $12. Well, I'm going to buy now. That's long term. Leave it sitting there. It'll come back. It might come back in a year. It might come back in, 8 months from now. But today, people are making $4 or $5 million today. Just selling it short, buying it back, selling it short, buying it back, selling it short, buying it back. Hey, I just made $4 million a day. Most people don't make $1 million working a whole lifetime. $1 million working a whole lifetime. They just made 4 lifetimes in one day. 4 lifetimes in one day. Yep, they have super CPUs that trade back and forth with each other. And that's all it is. They're saying, hey, if you can get the stock to manipulate people to sell or buy, then we'll buy here. Just like that when that on February the 14th, when that shit shot through the roof and all the computers bought it high because the computers they glitched. Something told them, hey, this shit's going high. Buy. They bought it. Then it just tanked. And everybody lost all that money when they found out it was a mistake. So sometimes you can trick a computer by just putting a fake thing. And that's why I think the president had to walk. She had to resign. Because all these computers got tricked by their error, putting an extra zero. They put an extra zero. The computers thinking in ones and zeros. Computers thinking binary. One, you put an extra zero on there, it's a bigger quantity, a way bigger quantity. So their whole algorithm just tripped on a much bigger quantity than what they thought. So they bought a lot. That's why the shareholder lawsuit came. I wonder how that lawsuit's doing anyways. Let's see something. I'm going to go ahead and look up this Lyft shareholder lawsuit. Lyft shareholder lawsuit. Let's see if they're doing that. Oh, okay. July the 24th. July the 24th. Accusing Ron come officers. This is opens a new tab. Safety of the gut. No, that's not that. That's something else. Okay, the May the 6th. That's March the 6th. It says Lyft's earning report prompts. Okay, share this tab right there. So this is the one I'm talking about right here. That Lyft's earning report error prompt shareholder lawsuit. This was back in March. It was 5 months ago. And it was saying, Lyft has been sued by shareholders for securities fraud after a mistake in recent earnings release about, come on, thing. I hate when this shit happens. Quit doing that. Yes, that Lyft has been sued by shareholders for securities fraud after a mistake in recent earnings release about a key profit metric sent the rideshare company stock price on a wild ride up, then down. In a proposed class action on Tuesday, shareholders said Lyft was careless in initial saying that February the 13th that one of its profit margins would expand in 2024 by 500 base points or 5% points when it was actually expected 50 base points, which is 0.5. So instead of 5 percentage points, it was 5. So yeah, that mistake disclosed at 4:05 p.m., triggering a buy-in frenzy. Those bots, a buy-in frenzy that caused Lyft shares price to rise 67% in an hour. Their price went up 67% in an hour. It was a bad era, and that's on me, David Risher told CNBC the next day. Man, shareholders said the stock shed most of its gains after CEO Aaron Brewer gave the correct margin of forecast at 4:47 on a live conference call. They said Lyft waited another 7 minutes to formally admit the error. Yeah. And it says during that period, Lyft's market value rose more than $3.2 billion and then shed roughly $2.9 billion of that increase. So it went up 3.2 and dropped 2.9, all within that time frame. I'm telling you, man. Yep. That was the on purpose. And Lyft always glitches. They always glitch. But they say they do it. We say they do it for the benefit of the company. They never glitch for us to help us out. They don't do that. I hate when this should be showing. So yeah, share this tab. Here we're still at 956 right now. So, man, I'm telling people, we got to pay attention to the valuations of these companies because we are contractors that work with these companies. Anybody, any driver out there who doesn't know the current value of Uber, the current value of Lyft, and it's not you got to know the to the minute, but know an approximate. Yeah, that's about $10 a share. Yeah, $10 a share times 400 million shares. Yeah, that's about $4 billion. Yeah, it's about $4 billion. Okay, so you're working for a $4 billion valued company right now. Uber, $68. They got about 2 billion shares out. So that's about, $1.2 trillion or something weird like that. I don't know. 1.2. Yeah. It's some weird number they got. So the thing is that you have to know an approximate value because we are the ones that generate the earnings. We as drivers generate everything from all the rides that get booked, all the revenue that's generated, the tips that they got that they're making interest on. So if you don't know who you're working for and you're just out there driving around aimlessly, well, I hope I'm going to get an extra $1 per ride on this challenge. An extra $1 per ride? No, you can't do that. You can't do an extra $1 per ride. You should be getting extra $5 per ride. Every challenge should be paying you at least an extra $5 per ride. Because guess what they're making on our backs? This morning, $116 to the Denver airport run. $116 is what the rider paid. $29 went to the driver. You don't think they can give them an extra $5? It wouldn't hurt them. They can give them an extra $5. It wouldn't hurt them. Hey, we're going to give you extra $5 on a ride all day because that's what they're going to do all day long. They can give them an extra $5, but instead they're going to keep eating away at what they're paying drivers. This is how they make it. What Ben say? I need to get an attorney now. They have reactivated me, but said I have 5 business days to send them proof or they will go ahead with review. I don't know. I mean, I've maintained Diamond for no reason. But what is it about though, Benton? What is it about? Is you need proof of what? Proof that, because I mean, this is how crime works. And I don't think these apps really realize how crime works. They have to have proof that you committed a crime. You don't have to walk around with proof that you didn't commit one. I don't understand who these people are. I mean, if you want to say, listen, I'm going to sue you for accusing me of a crime that you have no proof of. Now you're telling me to prove that I didn't commit a crime that you don't even have proof of me committing to begin with. That's like somebody arresting me saying, hey, man, we're going to arrest you for You got to prove to us that you didn't steal some Snickers bars out of Food City today. Motherfucker, I ain't even been to Food City today. Prove it. Prove that you haven't been to Food City today. I ain't got to prove shit. I've been at home all day. Prove that you've been home all day. No, you need to prove that it was me, because this is how it works. Prove that it was me. If you prove that it was me, now I can't say nothing. I'm on camera. I'm in Food City. I'm wearing the same clothes I'm stealing. Now I have to say, okay, I need to fight for my innocence. But you can just walk up and say, Ryder said I was speeding. Now that right there is he say, she say. If the rider said, anybody can say I was speeding in my car. I got a Beamer. People say, hey man, he was speeding in a Beamer. Cops pull over red cars just because they look fast. They pull over red cars all the time. And this car looks fast, I'm gonna pull it over. They can't go and say, since somebody said you were speeding, what they need to do is say the rider has to have proof that I committed the violation. If a cop says you were speeding and you choose to go to court against that cop that said you were speeding, and the cop doesn't show up in court, guess what? The speeding tickets get thrown out. That's how the law really works. And that's with a cop. If a cop says you were speeding, I caught you speeding, I got it on the radar, and you say I'm not guilty, and they say, okay, well, this is your court date. You show up at court, the cop don't show up, ticket dismissed, cop didn't show up. That's how it really works. So you need to say, listen, this rider has to have proof that I was speeding. Does the rider have it on video? Because anybody can say anything. They have to prove that you committed a crime. It's not up to you to prove that you're innocent of a crime. They have to prove that you were guilty. Your defense is proving of everything they showed you is not right. It's easy to prove that rider wrong, because all I got to say is, does that rider have evidence? Do you got it on video? Do you have any witnesses? Is it just you? Then it's he say, she say. It's easy to prove that rider wrong. Once you prove that rider wrong, it's done. It's a done deal. Because I could walk up to any car right now on the street and say, hey, that dude was speeding. He was? Yeah, man, he was speeding. They're going to say, well, how you know? Because I said it. He was speeding. I said it. But you don't have it on video? I don't need it. I said it. So that means he was speeding if I said it. You can't do that. Oh, yeah, that's true in the real world, but things are trending the other way. And that's the thing, David. This is the reason why so many people are winning so many lawsuits, wrongful lawsuits, and getting paid a lot of money. People are getting rich right now off of being accused of things they didn't do. People are getting rich right now. You got to be willing to go that far. I'm willing to go that far. If you're going to accuse me of something, accuse me of it. Knock yourself out. But you better hope I don't take you to court, because if I do, oh, trust me, I'm walking out with money. You're going to say, never accuse that dude of nothing again unless you got proof, because he just made us look stupid in court. Oh, Lyft's climbing right now. Lyft's up to 960. They dropped all the way down to 954. They got down to 954. They're up a nickel now, damn near a nickel. Now they're 958. So they're trying to make a little run for it. So I got a message saying I got 5 days to show proof I wasn't. Nope. I tell them, say, you got 5 days to prove that I was. And if you can't prove that I was, I will see you in court and I will sue you for slander, liable. You're affecting my money. You got 5 days to prove that I was. Bring your proof. Can't nobody tell you were guilty of a crime and they have no proof of that crime. You can't do that. You can't do it. Exactly. Straight to Jack in the Box in a Lambo. Y'all know me. I can't wait. Because when I sue somebody, I'm going for everything. I'm going for punitive damages. I want to make sure I sue their ass in a state that has no cap on punitive damages. I'm like, how high can we go? Because I want a jury to sit there. I do not want to settle. I would like a jury, and I would like to let them know, why are you suing for so much in punitive damages? To send a message. Every time y'all try to hit people, why you think they sued Trump for all that money and say, oh, yeah, they say, we're doing this to send a message that we don't play in New York. So if you doing that to send a message, why can't I sue somebody to send a message? I would like to send a message. Let me get you in court. Punitive damages. I'm sending a message. Do not accuse people of doing things you don't have proof that they did it. That's my message. Or it's going to cost you a lot of money. Oh, you can appeal it all you want to. You better hope you don't lose, because any appeal, you might end up having to pay me more now. You don't know. Man, I wouldn't be pissed. I'd be happy. I would be like, is there anybody in legal I can speak with? That's what I would say, Ben. Is there anybody in legal I could speak with? Can I get an address for legal? Say, because you guys are accusing me of committing a crime and you're not giving proof of the crime, telling me to prove that I didn't commit a crime. That's not how the law works. You're innocent till you're proven guilty. You're not guilty till you can prove yourself innocent. That's backward shit right there. Then that's everybody walking around. Just like that judge says, we all commit felonies every day. Even the judge, Supreme Court justice, we commit felonies every day. I know I do, but I'm not going to prove that I didn't commit a felony. I know I do. I mean, there's too many laws on the books. I know I'm committing felonies every day. So therefore, if I'm committing something, you need to prove that I did it. I'm not going to call you up and say, hey, I'm going to prove you that I didn't do a crime today. They'd be like, okay. It's like, hey, this guy said he's going to prove to us that he didn't do a crime today. Did you charge him with anything? No, but he just wants to prove to us that he didn't do a crime today. Okay. It's like, I guess so. No, I forget that. Say I need proof that I wasn't speeding. Nope, they need proof that you were. That's how it works. And they got cop radars. They've got what LiDAR systems. They got radar. They got those K5 or whatever they got. They need proof. Show me. They can't say, well, we have GPS tracking. No, because we know how their GPS tracking works. I can be on one side of the bridge on the 10 going west, going up under 7th Street. I can come out by 7th Avenue. The entire time the app is not moving because I'm under the bridge. The bridge goes from 7th Street, under 6th Street, under 3rd Street, under Central, under 1st Ave, because it starts avenues, 3rd Ave, 7th Ave. You pop out, the GPS hits you, your car on the map goes from here to there, and it'll say 75 miles an hour. And you're not going 75 miles an hour. You're going like 30. You're getting off at the ramp, going up the ramp, going 30. It'll go like, whoop, it'll say you went 75. It's like, no. I'm telling you, GPS is not reliable. They can't use GPS. They've got to say, you need a witness to this crime. Do you have a witness to it? Well, we have a computer. Okay. Well, I got a computer too. So you want to get in my car and map out my computer to see what it all was? They're up to 961. 961. Nah, I wouldn't deal with that, man. I wouldn't deal with that. But that's just me, though. That's just me, though. So that's how the justice system seems to be operating today. No surprise the companies are following suit. Oh, yeah, Sinful. That's how it is, man. They want to sit up there and play these games like everybody. Like I've said before, we're in a free roam prison. Thank you, Delta Roots, my brother. Excellent podcast. I said, we're in a free roam prison. Everybody's a prisoner right now. We got cameras on every corner. We got cameras on everybody's door. We got cameras in every car. We got cameras on cars that come with the cars, cameras in entryways, cameras in exit ways. We are in a free roam prison right now. Wherever you go, you can end up getting a cop at your door in 30, 40 minutes knocking. Hey, were you at Target earlier today? Yeah. Well, you bumped into a lady. Said, yeah, no, I said, I'm sorry. Well, she didn't say that you said sorry. So we're going to, that's an assault charge. Like, what do you mean it's an assault charge? It's like when I bumped into her, I said sorry and I walked by. Well, she says you didn't say sorry when you walked. I said sorry. Well, we can't hear that on camera. So you got an assault charge. How many people have said we saw the tape? Just like Michael Irvin. What happened to Michael Irvin when he came here for the Super Bowl? Michael Irvin was standing in the lobby of the Renaissance. We all go to do pickups and drop-offs. He's standing in the lobby. He's talking to somebody. That's it, just talking to somebody. Later, they said, this man tried to sexually assault somebody. It was like, what? Yeah. The lady never went to his room. They never had conversation like that. They were clearly on camera the entire time they even had any contact whatsoever. They were right on camera right there. And they just said, here's Michael Irvin sued the shit out them people. He said, don't play with me like that. And that's me. I'm going to sue you. We got cameras everywhere. Somebody's got this on camera somewhere. I'm going to sue you because I'm not going to prove. If somebody says I'm guilty of something, prove that I'm guilty of it. Play the tape. Prove that I'm guilty of it. Because if you say that I'm guilty and I'm telling you I'm innocent, I don't have to prove my innocence. The tape is already proven. Your guilt is enough. Your guilty charge against me is enough for me to sue you. I don't have to walk around trying to prove my innocence. My innocence is already innocent. I never did anything. It's never been I had to prove it. You've got to prove me guilty. And if your guilt is that tape, I'm suing you. Because that's the only tape that her and I was ever in each other's presence at all, period. Any conversation, it was right on that tape right there. And everybody saw that tape and they was like, damn, dude didn't even get to host the Super Bowl. He wasn't on the Super Bowl. He didn't get no endorsements. He wasn't part of a historic team for the Super. Man, got him. I'm going to look that case up real quick while they're, we're up to 963. Are they going to make it up to 990? I think they're going to make it up to 990. They might make it to 990. Oh, let me see some. Let's go. Michael 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 Irvin lawsuit. Oh yeah. Here we go. Here we go right here. Share this tab. Bam. Come on, man. Hate that. Here we go. Michael Irvin reaches settlement with Marriott in 100 million defamation suit. Irvin has since returned to NFL game day morning. So, man, what the hell? Hate when they do shit like that. Here we go. Come on, quit screwing with me, thing. All right, Michael Irvin right here. So, the former Cowboy receiver Michael Irvin has settled $100 million lawsuit against an Arizona Marriott over allegations he had an inappropriate physical contact with a female hotel staff over Super Bowl weekend in February. Irvin denied the allegation and sued the Arizona Marriott for $100 million in damages days after the incident. Marriott in a statement said it was pleased Irvin is dismissing his lawsuit with prejudice and without any payment from the hotel. That doesn't mean it's from the actual hotel's insurance company. We have always stood behind our people in their version of events and believe Mr. Irvin's suit had no merit whatsoever, Marriott said in a statement. It said he reached out to Irvin's attorney but had not heard back as of Monday. Irvin said in a press conference after following the situation sickens him. He said it took him back to where a white woman accused black men of something, and they would take a bunch of guys who were above the law, run in the band, and put a rope around his foot and drag him through the mud and hang him by a tree. I remember this. This is Irvin was asked if he remembered the woman from the lobby at the time. He said he meets so many people year-long staying in hotels. I can even tell you what she looks like. Irvin said, I don't know who I'm talking about. It just blows my mind that in 2023, we're still dragging around brothers and hanging by a tree. This was when they dismissed the suit because they decided to take it to federal court. Let's go back again. So he reached a settlement. I wonder what he did. How did he get how much did he get in the settlement? All these are from March the 14th, March, because there were some after that where they took it out of the Arizona court, I think, and they put it into a different court. Oh, I wish they had it because it was after a sexual misconduct complaint against Irvin from a female Marriott employee in Phoenix. Oh, they never gave us, and they must have did it. And okay, this is NFL star reportedly got 25 million. Okay, so this is afterward. This is in September because that was from March. So that was when it first happened because it happened in February. February is when Super Bowl was out here. We all drove. That was in March when it was still having a shakedown in March. This is September, months later. He reportedly got 25 million in the Marriott settlement. So yeah. Let me go down. Let me see where is that. The former Cowboy reached a settlement with the hotel chain in his $100 million defamation lawsuit dating back to February. It says Media Takeout can officially confirm that the lawsuit is over and Michael Irvin received a giant bag over the incident. We spoke with a person close to Michael who did not sign the confidential settlement agreement, who told us that Michael received 25 million from Marriott. See, that's what they said. We spoke with a person close to Michael who did not sign the confidential settlement agreement. Everybody has to sign NDAs to speak about this. Michael never speak about it because he signed a settlement agreement, an NDA, confidential settlement agreement, basically an NDA, non-disclosure agreement. Said he got 25 million. So yeah. And he got his job back. So he got reinstated back too. But that's what I mean, man. So your browser lost connection. You're trying sharing the screen again. Refresh back. Can you guys see me on here? Can you guys see me? I don't know. What up, Bighorn Kev? My brother. Can you guys see me on this live stream? Because it said I lost like connection or something weird like that. But I still see me on here. One. Okay, because some screen said, hey, you lost connection to your thing. And I'm like, I still see myself. There's no connection on there. Big Orange is ahead. Just converted $12 airport to 20. Got return trip tomorrow for 20 private rides paid. There you. Hey, they try to give me one for 13, man, and we do those $30 a pop, man. That's what I'm talking about, brother. That's what I'm talking about. Thanks, Paul. Yeah, I'm locked in. Cool. Because it said I was like not online. I was like, but I can see myself. What do you mean? Hey, this is what we talking about. Because you doing 12 for 20s, you ain't getting no tip. Because you know they're gonna give you a $1 tip, $3 tip in the system, make it 15. Do 20. You do 5 of those a day. You're going to make $100. 5 a day is $100 already. 10, you had $200 in 10 rides. With these $12 rides, you do 5 of those, you had $60. That's it. You had $60. And you're like, man, I'm not even, I'm halfway to getting to where I need to be. We got to convert. You got to convert. Without converting, you're not going to make money out there, man. You're not going to. Yeah, some of these servers are nuts because they'll say that I was offline, but it's like I could hear myself the whole time and I could see myself the whole time. I don't know what that was all about. I don't know. But yeah, but no, that was that Irvin right there, man. Let me go back into this real quick. Let's go share this screen because I want you guys to see where the stock is going right here. There we go. 964 with lift. So we're at 964 now. Oh, let's see if I can do. Let me see. This is crop layout. That shift. Wait a minute. What did it just do? Oh, there. I don't know why it keeps doing that. There's some way I could do this. That? No, that's not it. I'm looking at all these different versions of stuff. Hey, that right there. Okay, so this is a different way. All right, this is a different way to look at it. No, I don't like that either. Let's go back to this. Yeah, bet. Yeah, they were hoping for 10 at opening. Oh yeah. So that, like I said, they're at 972. Can they make a run for 990? Because they were up. They were at what? 976 is what they closed at last week. They closed last week at 976. Got up this morning. They dropped all the way down to 954. Dropped all the way to 954. And now they're back up to 972. So maybe they can make a run to 990 before lunch. Because like I said, if they're at 950 and if they can actually, if everybody sold on the way down, because like I said, they got all the way up to 977 this morning, dropped all the way down to 950, about 954. So that's 33 cents, 23 cents. So 23 cents, pretty much a quarter. Let's say a quarter of a percent. They can keep doing that. If they make 25 cents on $1 million, that's $250,000 down. You made $250,000 down because if you said, okay, at 977, let's sell and let's buy it all back at the bottom. Buy it at 954. That's 23 times a million, 23 cents times a million. So you got $230,000 on the way down. Can you get it on the way back up, though? That's the trick. That's the trick. Well, Ben and Breakfast, hey, on the speeding subject, the app itself says there are inaccuracies in the GPS. By their own admission, they can't prove that you're speeding. Thank you, Ben. Thank you. Thank you. This is what I'm saying, man. What's up, Dems? Good morning. Exactly, Ben. This is what I'm saying. We see on the app when we're somewhere and it catches up to us and it just flies. If the app itself says there are inaccuracies in the GPS, by their own admission, they can't prove you're speeding. They want you to sit there and like self-incriminate. You have a right. The Fifth Amendment gives you the right to not incriminate yourself. So by you sometimes trying to prove yourself innocent of something, what if you just go across something else and you're guilty? What if somebody says, hey, man, you got to come prove to us that you got license plates on the car. So you say, okay. So you go down to prove that you got license plates, even though you know you got license plates. You go prove and they find out your tail lights are out. So they're going to give you a tail light ticket. We're going to give you a tail light ticket. But I didn't come down here for that. I came to show you I had license plate. Yeah, but while you're down here, tail lights is out. See, you should have let them charge you with something. And they got to come and prove that because they come to your house and they'll say, oh, shit, he's got tail plate. He's got license plates. Why did you guys say he didn't have license plates? I don't know. Well, he's got them as parked right here. But you go down there and they say, dude, your tail lights is out. So even though you got license plates on your car, we're going to give you a ticket for tail lights now. So people will screw you in the act of you trying to prove your innocence. You don't have to prove they got to prove that you're guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. That's what the court says. It doesn't say you got to prove you're innocent beyond a reasonable doubt that you could be guilty of it. That's not how the law works. And just like Bed and Breakfast says, if they're sitting there saying that their GPSs are wrong, that means they know it's wrong. Yeah, they didn't want to send me proof I didn't. Exactly. And see, that's the thing. I don't mess with them. I don't mess with these apps like that. They need to know the law. And a lot of them are going to try to sit up there and play you. So that's why when you're put over by a cop, do not answer questions like where you're going. Exactly. You don't have to answer that. Yep. Some of these cops need to relearn their Miranda rights. Exactly. You have a right to remain silent. That's the fifth. That means I ain't saying nothing. You got to prove that I'm guilty of what you're charging me of. Because if you don't prove that I'm guilty of it, I'm end up with 25 million like Michael Irvin. Don't have me end up with 25 million. Because I'm gonna come at you for 100 million. We can settle for 25. I'm coming at you for 100 million. I'm coming at you with the whole book, 100 million. And when we settle on the end of it, you're gonna be like, oh man, why did we mess with this guy in the first place? See, normal people, they get accused of something, then they just happy that they were found innocent. Oh, I'm so happy I was innocent. I'm like, I'm gonna sue you for defamation. I'm gonna sue you for all the money I lost dealing with this. You know I'm not guilty of this. You're messing with me now. Even if you thought I was guilty of it, the fact that I told you these people are lying and you believe these people, well, I'm coming after you. I want 100 million. 100 million. So it's like, exactly. If they ask you how fast you're going, you don't got to tell me. Yeah, exactly. How do you know I'll stop you? Don't even say that. Don't even. When they be like, hey, man, do you know I'll stop you? Yeah, because I know my tail lights is out. I got license plate. I got probably 2 warrants out. And I robbed the store earlier today. I don't think you know about that yet, but I robbed the store earlier today. So it's probably one of those reasons why you stopped me. Cop is sitting there like, you idiot. Thanks for making the case for me. 976. As what we started at 977 on the day. We're at 976. So it took a dip and it's climbing back up. Is it going to make it to 990? Will they make? Because I'm thinking 990, 992. Uber is up 0.57. And these people are up 0.051. Uh-oh, they're even now. They're at 0 zeros. They started at 976 when they previously closed last week, and they're at 976 right now. So I don't know. Let's see if they can make it to 992. See if they can make, 30 cents. If they can make 20, 30 cents on the day, they'll be good. Here's weird. Here's weird, exactly. So it's like if somebody asks you what you know why I pulled you over, you're like, no, you tell me why. Say you're the one who stopped me. You're accusing me of something. You tell me. So I got my camera running though. So whatever you accuse me of, I want to make sure I got it on record. That's when they're gonna say, well, you got license and registration? They gonna skip all that shit real quick. Well, I'll tell you what, you got license and registration? Oh yeah, well, because you ain't gonna tell me why you pulled me over, huh? Because you finna run my license and registration and see what I'm normally guilty of. That's what you're gonna do. What am I normally? Oh, this dude be guilty of speeding, turn signal, no seat. Man, this dude been guilty of all of this. He's gonna be easy to bust. He got like 4 drug charges on him. He's got warrants. Oh, man, this dude's gonna be easy to deal with. So if they tell you, hey, why we pulled you over? You tell me why. How about that? You tell me. See, with the rich and endless driver pool, they're assuming they're fearless. Exactly. Yep, they only down a little bit. 0.24. Man, just think 3 days ago, Lyft was down to 1097. 3 days ago, they were at 1097. They're down $1. And this is, like I said, they got 400 million shares out. So they're down $400 million right now. Just from 3 days ago, down 400 million. They're at 974 when they were at $20. So $11 a share, $11 a share times 400 million shares. That's $4.4 billion. 4.4 billion. They are down since February. But yet we're doing so much better. Ain't nobody buying that shit. Investors like, dude, y'all are worth 4.4 billion less than what you were in February. We're doing so much better, I swear. Yeah, okay. It's like we ain't falling for that. We ain't stupid. Man, I swear, man. Like I said, and I think this will be good, man, for the mornings, just to get our brains right in the morning. And a few of us, we got a few channels out there that should be up early, getting drivers mentally ready. This is like our morning meeting, our morning staff meeting. Like, hey, how we gonna make this money? Kev is already out there converting rides already. Hopefully everybody else is taking that chance. Got a rider in the back seat. Hey, you know what? You want to listen to this podcast? This dude will tell you exactly why I'm trying to ask you for cash instead of they stealing all of our money. They ain't giving nobody. I did 9 rides in the past 2 times I were out. I did 9 rides and I didn't get a single tip out of 9 rides. Crazy. This is one of my clients had vomited in my car. She had a $150 cleaning fee bill. I gave her a ride, and that's the only person I think I had an issue. I just know I was deactivated yesterday, and today I'm good. See, and that's what it is. $150 cleaning bill. And I guarantee, she said, well, I only puked because he was speeding. He made me sick with how fast he was driving. I guarantee the fact that she had to pay that $150 bill, she tried to get that $150 back by lying on you. She tried to take it out on you because she got sick. He was speeding, so I got sick. Oh, he was? Yeah. Oh, we sorry about that. Can I get my $150 back? It's like, no. Nuh-uh. It's like I dropped my second profit off for today. Oh, there you go. There you go, Dams. Already in it. Already in it. And see, the thing is, I don't think I've had any privates. I had one yesterday. Let me make sure I ain't got nobody today. Nope, I have nobody today. Perfect. Yeah, because sometimes people hit me up. Say, damn, ignore my last votes. Yeah, sometimes people hit me up. Hey, Jeff, man. Hey, just want to know if you're in the area. Can you come pick me up, man? I'll be like, where you at? Shh. They be like 30 minutes away. I'm like, dude, that's a long way from me right now. But yeah, we can get up in the morning, man. Had these little, staff meetings first thing in the morning. Check the stock, see what's up. What up, Lim? So I have 5 more bookings to go for today. Oh, there you go, Dems. 5 more to go. That's what's up. But see, the thing is, now that I'm back on Uber, because I was just dealing with the Lyft market, and we all know Lyft, I have nothing really bad to say about the riders on Lyft more than the app itself. Lyft is nuts. But I know some of the riders that end up becoming my private drivers. I appreciate that shit. They my private riders. I appreciate it. Lyft is in the green. But Uber, because Uber gouges people so bad, they're so quick to get private rides. That's why I wanted to get back on Uber, because I'm like, man, I've been having the BMW running and just seeing what was out there, but I can only get Uber X on the Beamer. And when you get Uber X, it's just people are like, man, they pay like $27 for a ride. It's hard to get that $27 ride to pay $60. But when you're getting like, Uber Black Ride, Uber XL, Uber Comforts, you're getting all these big rides. Yeah, Lyft Black, you're getting stuff. Well, see, they were at 976. They're at 97. I don't see why it's showing green. Oh, it's showing green because it's still got it at 978 at 1042. So it's got a minute to go. This thing hasn't refreshed yet. Let me refresh it real quick. Yeah, there we go. Because I'm like, it shouldn't be green. So it's 974. Ready for the rug pull. Because like I said, we were up. 977 was the highest it made at 935 today. 935 by the time 10:05 came. So in 30 minutes, it went from 977 all the way down to 954 in a 30-minute span. So that's what, 23 cents? 23 cents. Yeah. So that's about times 400 million, about $800,000 or something, almost $1 million, almost $1 million in 30 minutes in value. They dropped something like that. Now they're back up to 974. So they're right back to where they started earlier this morning. Get ready for the rug pull. Get ready. This is I once admitted to going 80 in a 50 lane, but I told him I was 40 minutes late for a delivery. The cop let me off with a verbal warning. Yeah, I would never tell nobody that. No. Let's see what Uber's doing. So we know Lyft's not going nowhere. Uber, this is the morning. Okay, I see what Uber's up to. Uber started out today at 68.70 up to 68.94. So they're up 24 cents, which is weird. Because look, at 9:55, look at this, 9:55, it was at 68. And by 10:05, it dropped. It did the exact same thing Lyft did. You see that? At the exact same time. It did the same thing at the same time. Because at 9:55, Lyft took a hit. At 9:55, Uber took a hit. At 10:05, that's when it bottomed out. At 10:05 on Lyft, that's when it bottomed out. Let me show you. I'm telling you, man, these stocks are like, they're linked together, man. They're linked together. Let me open this back up some. Let me see something. Okay, let's share this tab. So here's Lyft right here. So here's Lyft. And that was at, in the morning, 9:35. Then at 10:05, it bottomed out at 10:05. Then it peaked at 10:30. It peaked at 10:30. So from 10:05 to 10:30, that's when it started acting funny. Here we are on Uber, down at the bottom, 10:05, and guess what? 10:20. 10:30 is right here. So it was 10:20 and 10:30 was the same price. So it's kind of funny. These stocks are moving. They're both rideshare apps, supposedly opposing companies, but they're moving in the exact same pattern. The exact same pattern, like damn near step for step. Damn near step for step. They're the exact same pattern. That's right, Armando. Convert. But see, it's not the fact that they're just the big two of the industry. Is that they're owned by the same stockholders. They're owned by the same people. If you're owned by the same stockholders or the same coalition of stockholders, then basically you're the same company. Like imagine me having a BMW. Then imagine me having an Expedition. But I say that they're competing with each other. But I'm the owner of both of them. And I'll say, oh yeah, man, my BMW competes with my Expedition. They're supposed to be, but how? Because I'm the driver. I'm driving both of them. If as the major investor, your investments are driving both of them, that means you own Uber and you own Lyft. That means Lyft and Uber, they're owned by the same people. They're in the same driveway. So my car versus my neighbor's car across the street, those will be two different cars. My BMW over here, their Expedition over there. Those are true competitors. But if you got two cars in the exact same driveway driven by the same person, how can you call those competitors? They're just different cars. That's all. And that's what Uber and Lyft are. They're just different cars. They're the same person driving both cars. That's why you see the stock moving exactly how it is. You don't see 1 minute, Uber going through the roof and Lyft just kind of piddling around. It don't happen like that. These are the same cars, man. They're the same cars driven by the same person. Or they're two different cars driven by the same person sitting in the same driveway. That's all they are. Here's Lyft right here. Let's refresh this. 975. So they actually got up. They went up. They got up to 979. So they were up 3 cents more than what they were last week. So they hit 979 and they tanked again. I'm thinking they're going to get 992. That's my number for the day, 992 for the day. Because 992 is that 976 day close plus about 16 cents. So 16 cents on the day is a good jump for Lyft. 16, if they up 16 cents in one day, that's good for them. So I'm thinking 992 would be their ending, 992. And Uber, they started out the day at 68.53. So they're up 47 cents right now. So they're up 47 cents. They did take a dive though. They went all the way down to 68.21. Now they're at 69. So they can, if they hit 69.21, they actually made $1 a day. $1 a day times 2 billion shares, they made $2 billion of value in a day. $2 billion value. Oh yeah. Yep. Same computer, same server. And we know that, man. We feel that. We feel that. When we're doing drives out in these streets, we out here messing around in these streets. We feel that, hey, something just feels weird with these apps. Something feels like the surge should be surging. If everybody's calling from the same area right now, everything should be surging in the same area right now. But it's not. You'll see Uber surging in the area where the concert is, but Lyft is surging like 5 miles down the road somewhere to get drivers to get away. Get drivers out of here. Open the roads up. Lyft, throw a surge over there. Okay. So you sit, and it's like a moth to a flame. You throw this big pink surge over there. Everybody's like, oh, pink surge. They start driving toward the pink surge. You clear out all the drivers. Now you only got an Uber driver sitting there. And now you can start charging what you want to charge. Lyft, because if you got Lyft there and you got Uber there, riders have an option. So it's like, why are we fighting each other, Lyft? Why are we fighting each other? If we got a lot of Uber drivers here and we got a lot of Lyft drivers here, nobody wins. We got to drop our prices. Everybody's looking for the cheaper price. Nobody wins. Send your people away. We'll give you next concert. Next concert, we'll send Uber drivers away and we'll give you, and that's what they do. They collude. It's collusion. Hey, we'll do this concert. You got the next one. Okay, fine. We'll do that. Fine. Put your surge 5 miles away. Cool. Yeah, and Lyft surge usually is always less, Paul. It's always less. Well, Latina say, looks like Uber and Lyft are going to push their stocks up and then drop them again. If history repeats itself, it should go down around 5 p.m. Eastern time. Yeah, because I think the market's closed at about 3:30, 4:30, something like that. 4:30. The market's closed at about 4:30. And then after hours starts trading right then. So we got to see what after hours is going to do. But right now, like I said, Uber is at 68.91. So here's Uber. They went up to 69.09 and now they're back. They're kind of coming down. So they just lost a dime. They went to 69.09. Now they're at 68.91. That's 20 cents. So they lost about 20 cents, almost 20 cents they lost. They went down 9, then they went down 18 cents. So they dropped 18 cents from 10.45 to 10.50. So 18 cents a share times about 2 billion shares. That's what they just lost. Lyft, on the other hand, let's open this screen up here. Let me see. Okay, that's Lyft right there. Let me refresh this screen. They're at 972. Look, they're doing the exact same thing. They had the peak. And now they're going back down. I'm telling you, the same people own these companies. Because that's what Lyft looks like. The peak and then a drop. And then this is what Uber looks like. The peak and then a drop. I'm telling you, man, these companies are exactly the same, man. I hate when they keep doing that. There. Let's go here. Get out of the way, thing. Yep. Oh, let me see. 5 days. The past 5 days, they're up $6 in the past 5 days. So that's where they are on the past day. This is where they're sitting right there. Lyft. Come on, thing. All right. Sitting right here is Lyft. They're dropping 0.41, 0.51. So they're dropping 0.51. This is funny. So they're down 0.51%. They're down 0.51%. And Uber is up 0.53%. So it's like if you're trading each, you're sort of coming out even as far as your percentage points moving in either way. But of course, you're going to make more money with Uber because it's a more expensive stock. So you're going to make more with Uber, but you're kind of balancing out what you're losing with Lyft. So you're still going to come up ahead. It's like hedging your bet. All you're doing is hedging your bet. That's all. So good morning, everybody. What's up, Jeff? No, you said this morning makes sense. Now, a lot of drivers in Vegas are saying that they see an amount when they get a ride, and then when they end the trip, it's different. Oh, yeah, brother. Lewis, they're getting them, brother. Screen record, man. Screen record. Because they're shaving money every time they do that. And they're trying to see who's not paying attention. So hit screen record and don't, before you end that ride, like when that person is getting together, I double swipe my phone down, hit screen record. So as you're screen recording, you should see the end of it. You could take all that out later because it's got addresses and names and all that stuff in there. You could take that out later. So screen record. And so when you finally hit end ride and the person gets out and everything, it's still screen record. Gives them a time to leave a tip. They leave a tip. All the numbers start moving around, calculating. You can now go back and you can see what exactly you got offered versus what you got paid. And what they're doing now is they're even changing your upfront amount. If it says, let's say $25 was the upfront, after you end the ride, it'll say your upfront was like $24.26. And you'll get $24.20. It's like, wait, but it said the upfront was $25.12. But they change everything. They throw you all the way off. And they know what they're doing. They're not stupid. They'll sit and say, oh, yeah, well, we said it was $24.26. No, you didn't. It was $25.12. I remember it. And they playing mind games with people who don't do screen record. You screen record because they're throwing so many numbers at us, man. So many numbers. They got, division, multiplication. They got time. They got distance. They got all this. And you start playing mind games with yourself after a while. You start saying, damn, did I really see 20? Man, I must have saw 24. I must have saw it. You didn't. You were right. They're moving numbers around, man. They're moving numbers around. And it's like we got to start catching them, man. We got to start catching them. And this right here is part of the lawsuit. If there's going to be a lawsuit, this is it. And Paul is right. Screenshot every offer before accepting. And I say, Paul, this is what I do. I would screen record. You don't have to keep all your screen recordings because a lot of times I'll screen record and then I'll just delete it all when I'm done with it because nothing really happened. If I'm not making a video with it, I'll get rid of it. But screen record, you can move it to your laptop. You can move it out the way. You can put it on your hard drive. Man, you can do a lot with those screen records because you can go back and forth. You can look at things more in depth because when you're driving, you're not paying attention. If you do a 10-minute screen record, you can go back in time and look over 10 minutes. How did they screw me? Oh, look what they did. It said that the distance was, 6.7 miles. But as soon as I hit accept and everything, it went from 6.7 miles to 7.2 miles. They be screwing people. Half mile here, half mile there. If each trip they added, like, let's say a full mile on each trip, you're doing 1 million drivers. That's 1 million miles. They're shaving 1 million miles off of people, man. Easy to do it. It's on. School is back. Surge is back. Time to pimp the system. Paw Patrol. Exactly. The play we doing, Paw Patrol. And see, that's the thing, man. I'm glad I got all my Uber stuff back because I Paw Patrol on Uber. On Lyft, I can just only do like the black service. That's it. Oh, look. It's on the black service. I'll throw it on black and I'll just cruise around because I know I'm not going to get a ride and it helps me. But the thing is, when you go on black, you don't see where the surge is. On Paw Patrol, on Uber, you can still see where the surge is. So it helps you get to the surge. On Uber Black, you could be sitting on a surge and not even know it because it kicks it all out. So you got to keep going back and forth. And I'm not messing with my phone in traffic. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to wreck my car to get $6 surge. Now I'm out of $1,500 because I don't wreck my car trying to make $6. Like, nope. If my car is moving, that phone is hung up there. It's just playing music. I don't even mess with it. But yet, that's why I like Paw Patrol better because you can put it on Paw Patrol. Surges pop up. Your phone is active. Wi-Fi is active. You write in the surge. It hits your phone. Now you've got $12. You ain't even did nothing but sit on Paw Patrol. Now it says plus 12 next ride. And you just cruising around. You can't do that on Lyft. On Lyft, you've got to be on the lowest tier to see the surges. and they just throwing you ride after ride after ride after ride. And if you don't take them, let's say I don't touch my phone in 2 rides, it kicks me out. So I'm like, damn, now I got to go back in. And that's how you lose your surge. You got to make sure you touch that phone. If you don't touch that phone, you cleaning your car, you wiping your car down, you get back and it just says go online. You be like, this shit kicked me offline. I had $13 surge on it, but you didn't even hear it. You didn't even hear the phone. They get you, man. They get you every time, brother. They get you. What's Uber doing? 68.55, 68.85. Oh, yeah, it's in a steady decline. And that's Uber. That's Lyft right there. Lyft is still doing the 97, 9.71. I don't know. It might not make it to that 992 today, man. It might not make it. I think it will, though. It might not, but I don't know. It's only what? 7:57. So it's only almost 11 o'clock out there. So it's almost 11. They got another hour before lunch to make it up. Because you know they're going to have a sell-off right after lunch. They're getting their money out of this company after lunch. Everybody's going to say, yeah, take the money out. After hours, we'll do some trading and something like that. But we ain't messing with these companies right now. And it's funny because we keep catching Uber doing that big stock dip. We've done it twice now. We saw them do the huge 2 down, 2 up, 3 down, 3. They've done it, man. We've caught them 2 times. This is Muslim. I was like, man, you got energy like a motherfucker. You must like a motherfucker. It's not that I have energy. You must hang around a lot of lazy ass people, man. Because everybody I hang around got about as much energy as I got. We up, man. We be up and at them. We be doing it. I don't know. I've always been an energetic person. I played sports my whole life. I hung around athletes my whole life. Even people who were nerds. Nerds was always studying, building shit, doing shit. We work in garages. We build stuff. We got Jeeps. We always taking Jeep tires and doing shit. We're a different breed, man. We're a different breed. We never stop. Never stop. I woke up this morning at about 1 o'clock this morning. I got up about 1. I was going to drive. I got up, ate food and everything. I had the apps turned on to see if anything was going to happen. Nothing came through. I put it on basic. I got a couple of Excel hits and just kicked them out. Didn't even worry about it. Like, that driver, school is back in session in Orlando and money is back in session. Private rides alive. There we go, brother. Hey, get them cards out there, man. Get them cards because you already know. You already know. You get them cards out, you're going to be getting more calls than not, especially when these football surges start hitting. When these football surges hit, your phone is going to be blowing up. Everybody going to be trying to leave bars and parties and clubs and stadiums. Dude, you're going to be getting calls like, hey, let me drop this lady off and I'll come over there and pick you up. Let me drop this guy off. I'll come over there and pick you up. It's going to be like that. Trust me. I've had it happen, man. Be cruising. When I had the Beamer, I was always driving somewhere. Hey, man, we don't know if you about Mill Avenue. I just left Mill. I got somebody. I'm on my way back down. I'll hit you when I get. Okay, perfect. Meet me at the Jack in the Box. All right, cool, because I want to hit traffic. They'll be right by the Jack in the Box. Me and my man Lawrence, we sit by the Jack in the Box all the time. I tell my people, can you get to the Jack in the Box? Yeah, all right, meet me there. So I got to go through all that traffic. All right, bet. Thank you, brother. Good morning, Jeff. Wish you a blessed, happy, and prosperous day. I'm going to get out and get it, brother. I'm going to get out and get it. Because I wanted to get in here and run a live stream to kind of get everybody going for the day, get us all woke up and ready to rock, man. The market normally corrects itself during lunch. There will be a big push around 3:30. Oh, yeah. I'm thinking that, Latina. It's going with these rideshare apps. These people want to get as much as they can on the peaks and valleys because they're not going to make nothing on the climb. They're making nothing on the climb. So they got to tank it so they can make money back. So they sit there. Oh, yeah, he works for Bezos. Yeah, he was with Amazon for a long time. So what they got to do is they got a breakfast burrito. That's funny shit. I know it. So what they got to do is as soon as the stock market opens, they tank it. So they short it. They make that money on the way down. They get their day started. So they get that money on the way down. Then they say, all right, cool. I made my money. Now let's make a little bit on the way up because we know what it should be valued at. Let's make some money on the way up. Crazy. So I did everybody in the middle of the road today while doing rideshare Orlando. Man, hope an alligator didn't bite them, man. What the hell? Jeez. That's crazy. See, on Saturday, I decided to surrender and let Lyft go and stand on fair share alone. Passenger tip 606. Said paid $27.30. Tips are not based on 22.2%. There are whole amounts, 18%, 20%, etc. Yep. I'm telling you, Dims. I'm telling you. Oh, no problem, Benton, man. No problem, brother. Hopefully you let them know. You let them know. We ain't playing no games with these people, man. We're innocent till you prove us guilty. We ain't proving ourselves innocent. No, we ain't guilty right off the bat. Wow, hit and run. That's sad, man. That's sad. And it's like I said, you may do the whole summer, all these crazy weathers and crazy storms and all that shit and end up getting hit. at the end of summer. Man. There you go, Dims. Tired of lift stealing, shadow blocking, and underpaying for my services. Oh, I agree with you on that shit. That's why I got to get this Uber back up and running. I'm about to have my double accounts running again. Double accounts mean, oh, here we go. Share this tab here. Look, Uber's dropping. They're down to 68.80. They were all the way up to 69.02. Then at 68.80. So they dropped 20 cents since what? From 10.50, 11.01. So in the past 10 minutes, they dropped, what was that? Dang it. 02, 20 cents, 18 cents, 22. They dropped 22 cents. So yeah, this is the period everybody's talking about. We got 1 hour before lunch. And once that happens, we're going to see where the stock is going to sit. We'll see where it's going to sit an hour before lunch. Oh, there's a video I wanted to show you guys anyway. Hold on, let me see if I can see it. Oh, where is this thing at? Is it in my watch list? Watch later. Let's see something. Oh, no, I don't think it was in here. Nope, it's not in there. No, that was just that federal judge and that Google lawsuit. That was it. Come on, thing. Let's share this tab right here. Here we go, right here. And I trust law, man. Yeah. You don't hear sound on this one? You can't hear no sound on this? So there's no sound playing on this Google video right now? What? That's crazy. All right, I'm gonna end it then. I'm gonna have to end it. There was a video that was the actual lawsuit, the antitrust thing playing, and it had no sound on it. Oh man, let me see something. I gotta go back and find this again because y'all gotta hear that, man. Now I'm gonna have to clip that out. That was, I can't stand that. I hate when they do that, man. Let me see something. Tim, if y'all can hear this, hold up.
Almost 4.5%.
Can y'all hear this? Can you hear it?
We're talking at the top of the hour about how bad this day is already on the
Can you hear this right now?
So essentially, this means the judge is saying Google went to other companies, like other phone companies, and made deals
I don't know what the deal
that
is
they were
with
going
that.
to use the
I
Google
wonder why they.
search.
Yeah, well, I mean,
because it's playing on my end, but
on all the devices that we have.
Whatever. Yep. Oh, that sound was back. Oh, see, everybody was like, sound. Let me turn it back. Y'all messing with me now. All right, because it's a good case because it's what we're talking about all the time. So let me go back into it. I'm going to open it again, but it's exactly what we talk about all the time when it comes to antitrust and us being business owners. These are things that we really got to think about. Let me see something. I'm gonna back it all the way back up again because it's definitely stuff that we've got to start discussing. Because if we don't talk about this stuff as business owners, we're gonna get played. They're playing us like we're employees or something like that.
Breaking news this hour.
So this is what I was saying.
Has just ruled against Google in a massive antitrust lawsuit. That suit involves its core business.
Can you hear it now?
Searches.
Is it good now?
NBC
Let me
News
know.
business
Let me
and
know.
data correspondent Brian Chung is here to help unpack all of this. Brian, this is a big win for regulators, right? Because they have been trying to argue that there was a monopoly here at Google.
Yeah, and by the way, we're still poring over this 286-page document from the District of Columbia. Really, this is a massive antitrust ruling that the judge in this case is turning onto the Sherman Act. This is basically an antitrust law that we've heard in the context of a big landmark case against Microsoft in 2001, now being used against Google here. And this judge found that there were basically two areas where Google was basically engaging in antitrust: search and text advertising, that they basically controlled the monopoly. They said for the search engine, they were basically coercing companies into making Google the default search engine and not giving them much choice to go elsewhere, simply because of the massive scale that they have on advertising dollars.
So I'm gonna stop him right there. He said that what Google was doing was stopping like any competitors out there from having search engines applied on their phones, laptops, computers, whatever. They're saying we are the only way you can get this done. And anybody who tried to get in, Google would try to squash them. They would try to, hem them up in court or do something, make sure they had to spend too much money. Uber and Lyft does the same thing with us. If we are drivers and we're all independent contractors, we are direct competitors of them. We're competitors, but just like with Uber and Lyft being competitors, but they work with each other. We're competitors, but we all work with each other too. We work with Uber, we work with Lyft. Lyft is a competitor of Uber, but Lyft also says if you're going to miss your appointment, we'll give you a $100 credit to use with Uber. So Lyft pays Uber even though they're competitors, just like we help Lyft and Uber even though we're all competitors. The difference is they try to squash us if we talk directly to a customer, or if we say, hey, I'm not being paid enough for this ride. I'm only getting $9 for this ride. And the people are like, oh, we paid $42 for it. Well, I'll do it for 30. I'm not doing it for 9. Oh, we'll give you 30. See, they don't like that. We should have a right to negotiate prices to keep the market fair. If we can't negotiate prices to keep the market fair, they can start price gouging. They can start locking out competition. And that's what happened to Google, locking out competition. You can't do that.
On text advertising, they pointed to a pretty jarring stat that in 2020, its market share in that market was 88%. So you have Amit Mehta, the judge, saying, quote, Google is a monopolist and has acted as one to maintain its monopoly. This is a huge win for the 38 states and territories that were on this suit. What happens next? We don't know. Could there be injunctions? Could there be criminal fines potentially? We'll have to see. But the stock is down almost 4.5% on a day that's already been pretty bad for Wall Street.
We're talking at the top of the hour about how bad this day is already in the stock market. So essentially, this means the judge is saying Google went to other companies, like other phone companies, and made deals that they were going to use the Google search.
That's what Uber does.
Well, I mean, when you think about on all the devices that we have, if you're on a Mac, if you're on a browser, it's the software as well. In many cases, Google is the default browser. They're alleging that the way that they made themselves a default browser through some of these deals and agreements is antitrust.
And has Google said anything to this point?
Google has not responded. We did reach out to a request for comment. They haven't said anything so far, but we'll have to see, and we'll be keeping our ear to the
Is it too soon to ask if this changes how we used to use Google as a verb, Brian. Is it going to change how we
funny
search?
How she said we use Google as a verb, and Uber was bragging about how Uber is the new verb. When people say, hey, man, I'll just Uber you home. Hey, man, you going to Uber over here? Uber is now a verb. Google is a verb. When they say, hey, man, just Google that. Once you become a point to where your company is so mainstream that it becomes part of everyday daily conversation, you're running the risk of antitrust law violations based on how you treat competitors, how you treat the contracts, like how Google was going in saying, we're going to automatically attach ourselves to your device so you can't have anybody else. The way NEMT rides are, the way a lot of these Uber apps, what they do is they'll say, hey, we'll do rides for this area or for this region, and you can just come through our app. You can, like when Southwest Airlines flies all their pilots and all their flight attendants, they go through the Uber app. And they use guest services and third-party services to book Uber rides. They don't come directly to us. So what these third-party services do is they say, well, we'll get you a ride on your business account for $119. And the person goes, that's fine. It's going to our business account anyways. So now that partner gets a cut of that $119. Uber gets a part of the $119. And us as the driver, we get a very small part. They say, hey, Jeff, we got a ride for you right now for $26. And you go, okay, $26, 27 miles, $26 for 27 miles. We have no idea this third party charged these people $119. They're going to pay us the 26. So now they got over $90 split between them and Uber. They got over $90 they can split between those two parties because they gave us 26 and saying, well, Jeff, if you want more out of that, then you can get a tip. You can actually get a tip out of that. This is what happens when monopolies are starting to form. They start becoming the vernacular of the public. People, hey, man, I'll Google that, man. hey man, I'll just Uber when I get there. Now Uber, and like I said, within the next 2 years, Uber and Lyft, they're going to have some antitrust laws hitting them. I guarantee it.
Well, I mean, you would imagine that Google's defense of this would be, well, maybe our market share is so large because we're just the best search engine and we offer the best text ads
and
that
they
are
have
out
argued
there.
that in court.
And they have argued that. But again, this judge didn't seem to agree with that. The real big question here, Kate, is what can be done about this, right? Google is already a massive company among other tech giants. What can be done here? We don't know. We'll have to see whether or not there's any sort of penalties, injunctions, or et cetera.
All right, Brian Chung on that breaking news for us. Thank you, Brian.
Thanks.
There you go. Malcolm said, hey, just had a ride out on Buckeye and Uber for 24 when they paid 60. Fortunately, it was a truck company, handed out some cards and booked 2 rides, $50 a piece. There you go, brother. Yeah, and you're going to get that a lot. All the truck drivers drop their trucks off over on 51st and I think down 75th Avenues. If you want to go over there and market one night, man, hey, I'm down for it. Because I'll just cruise out there one day, just park the truck and walk around talking to truck drivers. We can put cards on the side of trucks. Hey, man, if you guys need a ride, because a lot of them, they'll park their trucks there, but they live in Gilbert. They live in Chandler. But that's where they get all the services done on their trucks. They'll park. They don't have a ride home. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning. Their wives are asleep. Kids are asleep. So they're Ubering. They're calling Lyft and everything. So it'll be cool if we go over there and we just canvas the hell out of that area, man. Just like let all truck drivers know, if you guys come in town, you guys need a ride, hit me up. Because if I ain't there, I can call Eric. Eric's not there, I can call Malcolm. Malcolm ain't there, I can call Ruben. Somebody's going to be there. Marcel, somebody's going to be there. So we just got to go over there and give them an option. And that's why, I don't mind doing business the way I do it on this channel. I don't really mind. A lot of people are scared of Uber. A lot of people are scared of Lyft. When you know the law says there has to be competition. If all you're doing is Uber, all you're doing is Lyft, you're actually violating the Sherman Antitrust Act, which says we need more competition to keep prices right. If you don't have competition, prices are out of control. Price gouging occurs. People don't get paid what they're supposed to be paid. We are helping the economy more than what people think we are by doing it this way. We're making the app say, well, we need to start charging people less because they're fighting against cash rides now. Now they're fighting against cash because they know what we out here doing. And what do the apps say? Well, we got to start charging people less. We got to start giving them discounts, 30% discounts, 20% discounts. We got to do that. That's because cash drivers, private drivers, we're fighting right now to keep the balance right. A lot of these people who are, I'm just going to do whatever's on the app. Whatever they give, my AR is 95%. My AR is 100%. I'm going to do whatever. You're not helping the economy. You're actually helping Uber and Lyft become more of a monopoly, become more and more violation. They have no competition. You are not competition. You are a slave. If you are a slave, you cannot be competition with them. We are not slaves, mentally or physically. So we are competitors with them, just like they claim they're competitors with each other. We go out and we fight for this money. We fight for the community we live in. We fight for the economy, keeping dollars here in our economy. Like when Malcolm goes out and he gives, $50 a piece rides, that money is staying here in Arizona. Once Malcolm locks those deals in, that money's not leaving Arizona. It's here. But once we let Uber and Lyft charge them $60, he gets $24. That's $36 leaving our economy. $36 leaving our economy just like that. Hey, man, there you go. $36 out of the economy. So we don't do that. We say, according to the Sherman Antitrust Act, we have to have competition. Competition is what makes our economy better. Helping each other say, hey, if we all out here get money, that's why I tell all drivers, I want everybody to eat. Because if everybody's getting clients, everybody's passing out cards, that means we have enough competition out there, even though we're friendly competition. We're competing with the apps. We're competing with high prices. We're competing with gouging. We're just trying to stay alive. We don't got to be greedy. We just staying afloat. If I can get out there and help somebody else get 5 clients a day, that's me helping the competition. I'm helping my own community. I'm helping the own economy because you're probably picking up somebody in my neighborhood. When you pick them up in my neighborhood, you're saving them money. When you save them money, they're going to call me, Jeff, I need brakes put on my car. I can actually afford it. What? Yeah, actually, a guy just came and picked me up. Uber was charging me $140 to leave the concert. This guy took me for like $75. Now I can afford my brakes on my car now. So you helping me by picking up people for cheaper. You're helping me. You're helping the economy of everybody involved. I don't got to drive people around. I could just work on their cars. But how can they afford to get their car worked on if Uber and Lyft is charging the shit out of them? So we got to help each other out. This is what we do. Oh, yeah, the new surge is spotty as fuck. Yeah, exactly. So at a certain point of begging the companies to pay us, we got to create our own lane revenue. And I'm telling you, Ricky, man, this is why the Sherman Antitrust Act was created. For people like us, for a channel like this. It wasn't created for a slave channel. It wasn't created for a shaky, scary ass channel. you guys better drive on the app. Just, super duper cherry pick and don't drive off the app. And no. We're here to do business. If we got to go out and get commercial insurance, we got to go link up with other rideshare apps. We got to link up with other companies. We got to link up with other drivers. We got to do our own marketing and advertising. We're going to do whatever it takes to get that money to keep this competition going. We're not a shaky ass channel. Never been. I hear those channels talking, I laugh. I'm like, these motherfuckers don't even know the law for one thing, dude. America pushes for competition. It keeps prices low. It keeps quality up. Because if there's no competition, you can just drive people around in busted ass cars all day. You can have people cars stanking, funky and shit. Cars don't work, cars don't break because there's no competition. You got to keep your car nice, keep your car clean, or else that person that you used to take ain't gonna want to ride with you no more because they got somebody with a better car. Same exact price, same exact route. The quality is better though. Once you get that quality up, that helps competition. We've got to do this, man. We can't let these apps take us over like this. And when they watching our channel, all these employees at these apps, they know we're not going to sit here and let you play us like some slaves. I'm not going to sit here and let you sell my clean ass truck that I got to clean, that I got to buy spray wax for. I'm wiping fingerprints off of everything. So when I pull up, it look like nobody even touched my car for the day. I probably had 3 people already, 3 rides I've given. But when I pull up, the floors, all the dirt's out of the car. I open the back up, scrub all the dirt out, right to the ground, dirt back on the ground. Spray my seats off. All the seats smell like brand new leather. I hit my little air spray thing. Car smells fresh. All fingerprints off. That's part of competition, is keeping your shit looking nice. I'm not going to allow you as an app to sell me as a slave when I'm doing all of this work, but you just sold that nice ass truck for $100 and you gave me 37 out of the 100. No, I'm gonna probably get $80 and you ain't gonna get shit because I worked too hard. I worked too hard to get that. And I hope these app employees are watching these videos and listening to these videos and understanding why we operate the way we do. Get off your ass and come out here and drive with us. Get out here and sit in these Circle K parking lots, helping up people air up tires and pump up tires just because we there. Y'all get out in these streets. Don't sit on your ass and say, oh, we're going to play this like a video game, like Pac-Man. I'm going to see if I can use that car right there to get as much money as I can make tonight for the app. Ooh, I'm going to use this expedition. Hey, look how much money I'm going to make with this. You ain't making shit off of me because I'm going to convert everybody that gets in my car if you ain't paying me right. This is competition. This is competition. If you don't pay me right, then I'm competing with you on the spot. And I'm letting the person know that's getting in my car, hey, listen, this is just competition, man. They ain't paying me right. They give me $13. I normally do this ride for like $25. Oh, well, I paid $36 for it, but I'd rather just leave it on the app. I don't want to take it off the app. You got to get the fuck out then. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry, but you got to get the fuck out. This is a competitive business right now. And a rider that's willing to take 13, 14 will be here to pick you up. I'm just not that one. I'm very sorry. You got to go, man. And if they just say, oh, you know what? You're right. These companies shouldn't be doing that to you guys. Cancel this ride. I'll just give you $30. Now we talking now. Now we working together now. I'll give you the ride, man. I want you to get from point A to point B. But if I want to get you from point A to point B and you telling me you don't care what I make, and guess what? I don't give a shit if you get from point A to point B because you don't give a shit about what I make. This is a mutual business transaction right now. I want to help you. You got to get to the airport. I want to help you. But you need to understand these apps is holding us back. These apps is playing us like slaves out here. They got you paying for this nice ass truck that I just sat here and cleaned in this parking lot. I put Armor All on these tires and shit. I got the spokes clean. I even wipe my spokes out because I don't like dusty ass spokes. I like to hit that shit. I like the ching ching bling bling because I drive at night. I need to see some shit blinging off my car. I don't like no dusty ass car driving around. When I roll up, I don't want you to see no fingerprints on my car. At night, everything reflects off your car. Fingerprints, face prints. If you lean on a car, you got too much dust on your car. All that shit affects you at night. So I clean my shit down. So I'm not going to let these apps sell my car for no $75 and say, Jeff, we're going to give you $28. Now for this car, you not. This right here is a $65 car. What do you mean? So you want to pay me a little more? No, we want to pay you more. If you don't like it, just decline it. I got even better. I'm not going to decline it. I'm going to accept it. But I'm going to let this motherfucker right here know you in my community trying to rip us off. I'm going to let them know that. I'm going to cruise them and say, hey, man, they only give me $29 for this ride. That's it, man. We paid $72 for this year. I'm getting $29. Man, I'll tell you what we do. You want to do it for $55? Let's do it for $55. Say if you make me a little more, it's cool. If they say, no, we just want to leave it on the ride. Cool, no problem. Cancel, drive off. I'm good. Because the next person I meet might want to say, you know what? I do not want to pay these high-ass prices. I want to pay you as a driver. You're out here in these streets. I'm in your car. You got to pay for insurance. You got to pay for these tires. Why these apps not paying y'all? Because they just won't. Well, I'm going to pay you, and I want the money to stay here in Arizona with our Arizona families. I'm paying you. I don't want this money to end up in California, fucking Bangladesh somewhere. No, it's going to stay right here in Arizona. How much? Here's 50. Thanks, appreciate it. And that's how we do business out here. So I don't want to sit up here and play these games with these apps, making them think we're going to be bouncing all around with them overcharging people and we're going to play by the rules. No, Sherman Antitrust. Sherman Antitrust. Is Hum only in Arizona? No, Hum might be in your region. Go to humrideshare.com on the Play Store, download it and see if it's in your region. You tell me. You tell me where it is. How about that? You tell me. Go to the Play Store and download Hum Rideshare and you tell me where it is. It's like, that's all you got to do is just go download it and tell me where it is. Oh, yeah, they got a lot of lawsuits to pay. And they got more coming. They got more lawsuits coming because, like I said, Google got hit with this Sherman Antitrust. What people don't understand, the reason why this channel hammers on antitrust, like I told y'all, I was going to be an attorney. I wanted to be one. And I wanted to do corporate law because I was an accountant doing corporate accounting anyway. So I knew what our legal department was dealing with all the time. We were dealing with everything from guest loss and damages to frivolous lawsuits, frauds, a lot of antitrust shit because of, casinos and the way we operate and work together. I was like, man, I really like how, legal is going. Antitrust. It's an undercurrent of America because if this is a capitalistic market, it's about capitalism. It's about everybody having a fair shake and a fair market. It's about capitalism. Antitrust is big out here. Nobody likes competition because they think if I have competition, that means I got to make a better product. I can't take no shortcuts. I got to be more transparent. I can't lie and just get money off of people. And I got to pay people a fair wage. I can't just shortcut people. That means I'm going to have a lot of profits. Well, that's business. That's how are you going to be an elite? Wanting to underpay people. Why do you think they got all these illegal immigrants over here? Because they're lazy. And they don't want competition. So they got all these illegal people in our country right now. Hey, come over here and work. We pay you more than what you make in your country. No, that's not what we do. Let them in their country fight for their market, fight for their economy, do what they do better. In America, we got our own economy to fight. Because if you're telling me you can come in and you can get cheap labor on American soil to price me out of a job, you can get cheap labor, then we should be able to have cheaper products. That means I shouldn't have to pay $75,000 for a car. I should be able to pay the same price for a car as somebody overseas pays for a car, if that's what we want to do. Because if I got to pay $75,000 on American soil, I need to make money to afford $75,000. But if you're telling me, Jeff, we're going to have illegals take your job, well, guess what? We need to have imports, a lot of imports into this country. I need cars from every other country, so I got to buy GM. I don't want to buy Ford. I don't want to buy Chevy. I don't want to buy Cadillac. I want to buy fucking Moopu or whatever the fuck they got in Bangladesh. Moopi. Whatever the fuck they be driving, Kunzis, whatever the cars they got. I want to buy those now. We don't have a Moopu technician over here, Jeff. We don't know how to fix a Moopu. Fuck it, I'll figure out how to fix a Moopu myself. Shit, just tell me where a website is. I can buy Moopu parts. I'll fix that shit in my driveway. But I'm not buying no Chevy. I'm not buying no Cadillac because I'm not making that money. I'm making Moopu money now. So I'm buying me a fucking Moopu. Exactly. Toyota's more American than Ford and Chevy. Exactly. So if they want to bring illegal immigrants over here to work, bring foreign labor over, then we should be able to have more foreign products. You bring a ton of foreign products in here and you ain't exporting shit, you just importing everything, they're going to be mad. They're going to be mad. Oh, everything over here is made in China, made in Korea, made in India. We don't have nothing made in America no more. Well, guess what? Since you got all the labor from all over the country over here, might as well just drive the same cars they got. I want to buy the same clothes they got, buy the same shoes and shit they got. I'm use the same house supplies they got. We're going to import everything. And they're going to be like, well, damn, now America just really went in the hole because every corporation is failing right now because everybody's importing. We ain't exporting nothing. Hey, keep your nation sovereign. Keep it sovereign. If you got your labor here, your products here, your services here, export more than you import. Right now, we're importing more labor than we're exporting right now. We have a backwards market. We should be exporting labor to help the world out. Instead, we're importing labor and we're drowning America out of cheap labor right now. I was at the airport ride, 30 minutes, Uber 25 customer, paid 70. Now I got them on Square and got my 70. Now I get my oil change and now blow my CVT up. Exactly. Hey, that's what I'm talking about, brother. Man, 30 miles, $70. That's what I'm talking about right there. You got to do business. This is antitrust law. This is about competition. They think they got the market monopolized. And the way that these stocks are working, I'm going to go back and look at these stocks. This is almost time right now. Yeah, because the way that these markets are working, they think they got a monopoly over us right now. They don't have a monopoly over us. We've got to be able to tell people. Wait a minute, let me share this screen real quick. Everything is outsourced, like you said, Jeff. Hey, I'm telling you that they trying to get us like that, man. Outsource everything. Wait a minute, here we go. Wait a minute. Let's do like this. Open this up some. There we go. 970 right there. 970. And see, Latina, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to outsource all of our labor to price us out of the market. That's what they want to do. Look at that. Lyft took one tank today, and now it's kind of just hovering around 970, 970. Now it's down to 970 right now. So, yeah, they're trying to do something shady right now. They started out the day at 976, and they're at 971 right now. So, 970. What are they going to do after lunch? We'll see. We'll see what they're going to do after lunch. But, man, I'm glad, 360. I'm glad you did that, man. Because people got to understand this channel over here, this ain't no weak channel. We're going to get that money. Get that Square. I just saw my all my Square payments processed, and I was showing somebody yesterday. I was showing Juan Vargas, actually, because he was like, how does Square work? So I was showing him how Square works. And I showed him, I said, when somebody pays me 60, I get like $57, $58 because they charge like 10 cents plus, 2% for tapped, 3.3% for keyed in. And keyed in is when it's an invoice. So when you send somebody an invoice, you're going to get charged 3% because they key that in. They actually put their credit card information in. But when it's actually tapped, when you're at point of sale, it's way less. So I like point of sales where they can do the tap because it's just a little less fees. But we got to get everybody out there, man, to start getting Square. Get set up with Square because Square is good because it does business transactions. You can text somebody a receipt on the spot. You can email them a receipt. They can turn that into, their accounting department, and they could be like, hey, man, you get reimbursed for all them airport rides you did from Jeff last week. Like, oh, cool, Jeff, thank you, man. I just got reimbursed for those, $300 worth of rides I did with you last week, man. Thank you for having Square because the Cash App and Venmo, they won't reimburse us for that. Yeah. They fully say, what if a private ride stood you up? What do you guys do? That's a good question, man. That's a good question. If a private ride stood you up, this is what I tell people. When you haven't had somebody as a private client yet, what I would do, and the private person might not know it, just like when Uber and Lyft charge a reservation fee, you don't charge a reservation fee. Charge just a reservation deposit. So let's say you was going to give them a $50 ride. Just say, hey, just pay me $20 of it now, $30 upon pickup. Because if they're invested into it and they stand you up, at least you got the reservation deposit. And it's a non-refundable because and if they say, well, I don't really do a reservation deposit, be like, cool, you don't have to do a reservation deposit, but just know you haven't bought that time slot yet. We only agreed on that time slot. You haven't bought it. So even though I'm telling you $50, if somebody call me as soon as I hang up and say, hey, Jeff, man, I'm going to need a ride at 3:00 tomorrow for $100. And I told you I'll do it for you going a different way for 50. But this person is telling me 100 and they say, I'm going to send you $45 right now to lock that time in. The agreed upon time with no deposit, you lost that. Because just like you can stand me up, I could just send another driver to you. You can agree to that other driver or not agree to that other driver. I don't care. But if somebody just paid me $45 towards a $100 ride and they locked in the same time you wanted, but they paid me for it, money talks. Money talks. Now do that with people who you aren't so sure about. When it's your actual people, your regular people, my regular people, I really don't charge them a deposit because they've never stood me up like that. They've always been 100. When they got to get to the airport, they got to get to the airport. I've never been stood up by a regular. When the time has changed, they'll say, hey, Jeff, my flight don't land at 7. Instead, it lands at 9. Okay, do me a favor, man, because it lands so late, just add another $15 to it because I know it changes your time. My people tell me, add another $20 to it. I know it changes your time. They do that to me all the time. But don't be scared, man. Just make sure you tell them up front the deposit is non-refundable. They do 2 no-shows, they get blocked. That's right, Latina, because Latina does business. That is business. What she's talking about is business. It's nothing personal. And people will understand because if somebody told me, Jeff, you got to, pay me a $15, deposit on the ride. It's not a fee. It's not a fee in addition to just you're doing a ride for 45. Yeah. Just give me, 15 now. When the day comes, just give me the other 30, Jeff. Cool. No problem. No problem. Now, if they play me for the $15, I'll never ever use their ass again. That's one thing. I was like, hey, dude, can you send my 15 back? Because I tried to come there and you played me. You didn't give me the ride. They can either give me a $15 credit on my next ride or send me my 15 back. If they're a straight up business person, send my 15 back. But if I stand them up and I wanted to ride, I understand if they take, Jeff, man, you stood me up. You told me Saturday. I know, man, I can't make it Saturday, man. So I stood them up and I'm the rider this time. I'm the rider giving them 15. I'll let the 15 go because it's business. It's not personal. I can't say, hey, man, you know what? I really need that 15. Fuck it. I need the 15 too, which is why I charge you the 15. So it's like, sometimes you gotta just run it as a business, not really as a personal thing. Some of my clients I'm really personable with, and we laugh and we joke and we have fun and everything like that. But they know, look at Lyft tanking 966. Woo, they tanking, man. They going straight down. What the hell? They going straight to the ground. I don't think they're gonna make it to 990 today. I thought they would make it up to 990. I don't know if that's possible because they are not having faith in people right now. Yeah. Did you ever use the Stripe account Hum provided to receive payments and issue invoices? Oh, yeah, my money has to go through Stripe. Whenever I do a ride with Stripe, Francisco, with Stripe, whenever you get a ping on Hum, they pay you through Stripe because they pay Hum. They give the money directly to Hum, and Hum uses Stripe as their payer, kind of like how Uber and Lyft uses it as their payment processor too. So once it hits that account, it comes to you automatically. You don't have to touch it. Like, you don't have to touch it or whatever. It'll automatically just hit your account. What I do is I write on a sheet of paper. Whenever I get an actual ride through Hum, I write on a sheet of paper, like $24, and I'll put the date next to it. Because when it hits on my bank account, I want to make sure in that amount, what all rides hit that amount. Because sometimes Stripe will process batches where you'll have, maybe 2 payments from this day hitting at the same time, hit your bank account at the same time, but then another ride you did that day with the next 2 rides from the next day hitting at the same time. So you have some weird batches coming through. Always write my stuff down just to make sure that, everything's on the up and up. It's just an accounting thing. So you will get Stripe payments all the time if you get pings through Hum and you use those and you accept the ride and you do the ride, all that's going through Stripe. Now, if you're doing like private rides on Hum, it's whatever you do is cash in your hand, Zelle, Cash App, Venmo, whatever, Square. So it's like, yeah. Steve said, hey, I have proof of wage stuff. Yeah, me too, brother. Hey, man, they out here getting us, man. We all getting us. This is, when is Uber going to background check passengers? You never know who you're going to get through today. And that's another thing, Fortune, man. That's why I have a hard time sometimes doing some of these rides. I have a hard time because some of these people, they don't get it. We pick up a lot of people during the nights and during the days. And when somebody is dressed a little sketch, like you seeing people walk up with like I said, we talk about people wearing hoodies and shit like that. I don't even say no. I just drive off. I've done it before. I just drive off. It's cool. They could be like, hey, not my problem. Motherfucker, you know what you look like. I'm not about to let somebody jump up in my car looking like that. No, not in the middle of the night. I'm cool on that shit. But I've seen people that come up, normal, cool, I'll let you in. But if you come up looking like you up to some shady shit, you got a hoodie on your head and everything, it's not raining outside, it's not cold outside, but I just drive off. I don't have to explain to you why I'm driving off. Because Uber don't vet these people, man. They don't mess with these people. Oh, yes. Stripe is stressful on weekends. I have that batch crap going on now, waiting on 80. Yeah, I don't think Stripe is open on weekends, man. They're open during the week. They're not open on weekends. So it's like, yeah, you get a lot of your rides get hung up. And you got to have all your rides wrote down so you know what's in what batch. And you can go into your Stripe account and kind of see what the batches are looking like. And then they'll finally hit your account and you'll be like, okay, cool. I know which rides are in there. Because it'll say like processing, paid or something weird like that. How about using the Stripe account for your manual rides? You can't do that, Francisco. Stripe is not that way. Stripe is a payment processor as far as like what companies go. It's not a point of sale system. Cash App is a point of sale. It's just a currency exchange back and forth. Zelle's point of sale. Stripe is point of sale. All that stuff. Not Stripe. Square. All that's point of sale. When you get into Stripe, that's where a company is using them to process credit card payments through them. As far as me using Stripe as an actual payment processor for myself, I'd have to call Stripe and set up my company with them and become a Stripe like client or something like that. then I could probably have Stripe paying. But with Stripe just being like how Stripe pays for our Uber rides, Stripe pays for our Lyft rides, is because we contract with Uber and Lyft. So when Uber and Lyft process the payments, they process them through Stripe. We get our money hitting our bank account. Like Uber don't pay us directly, Lyft don't pay us directly. They can do an adjustment. Lyft and Uber can do an adjustment to us directly, but the actual money that's processed through all these rides, credit cards and stuff like that, all of that goes through Stripe. So yeah, Stripe is a little, you want to get Square. You want to get Square. Trust me when I tell you, it's free. Square is free. It's a free app. You just download it. You can use tap to pay. You don't have to have the reader. You don't have to have all that stuff. You can get it if you want to. I don't have the reader and none of that. I just have like tap to pay because I got a phone where you just hold the credit card to the back and it just pays automatically. But definitely download Square, man. It's going to help you when you get business people who need write-offs. And when they're paying $100 for a ride, they know the company's going to reimburse them for it. It don't really kill them to pay you $100 because you got it on. It's not cash in hand. It's on Square. If it's cash in hand, it's coming right out of their pocket. They probably can't get a reimbursement for it. So they're going to kind of be like, man, that's pretty steep for a ride, man. You know, can you do it on Square? I mean, if I'm giving you $100, you know, I'd rather do it through the company than through myself. I'll probably pay like 30, 40 for it. So, but that Square, that's going to make a difference right there, man. That Square is going to it's going to open up doors. Trust me. I mean, I was showing Juan Vargas, you know, I get from one rider, $200 Square payment just because they write it all off. $200, bam, for a ride, $200. They don't walk around with $200 cash in their pockets, but they got a damn credit card that the company pays for every month. So they just like, here you go, boop. It's like, hey. This is Zayon Phoenix. Can you confirm this? They're hiring actors at $15 for the Harris Waltz at the convention center. Oh, yeah. I heard about that. I saw it on Craigslist, man. Somebody had it circled on Craigslist that they were hiring actors. And it was either on TikTok or Instagram. They had the whole ad circled on Craigslist in Phoenix. They were hiring actors. And now I can't find it no more. It's like, man, it's somewhere in my phone. I can't find it no more. This is what do you put for business name in Square? Like whatever you want. You can put your own name. You can put a business name. It don't make a difference. I put a business name. I got Win Networks Travel because I wanted to show up on their business statements when they're looking at their credit card and it's travel and they're getting reimbursement. It ain't just saying like some dude named Jeff. Like, hey man, who's Jeff? You gave Jeff like $50. Who's Jeff? Oh man, that's my driver. Well, can he have a company next time? Just Jeff kind of seems a little sketch. It's like, yeah. It's like, man. Oh, yeah, them Square shirt. Oh, yeah, that works, man. Those Square payments work. That works. When I walk around and people know right off the bat. When I'm at the airport, everybody's looking at me. Because I got Square on the back of my truck, but I wear the Square shirt too. Everybody's just looking at me. I know they're like, how in the hell can we get that truck? But I got some new stuff coming out, man. We'll talk fortune. Like I said, you can always shoot me an email, brother. Shoot me an email. I'll see what I got in stock, man. Oh, yeah. But yeah, put on your bit in Square. Build an actual business. And I'll say this, you can contact your bank, like whoever you bank with. Go into your bank and say, I need a fictitious business name. And they're going to pay the state $15. They're going to open up a new bank account with a fictitious business name. And you're just paying like Bank of America, whatever. Or you could just write to the state, send a payment to the state. I think I paid $10 to the state of Arizona for a fictitious business name, Win Networks Travel. Cool. Once you get that, you can put that on everything, incorporate it, LLC it, whatever you want to do with it, but put it on everything. But first check with the state to make sure the business name you chose is an actual legit business name somebody else don't got. Because you don't want to come up with a business name like Walmart, and then you're like, yeah, man, Walmart. And you find out it's Walmart's already a real company. You say, oh, shit, I know Walmart was a real company. Be like, yeah, we shop at Walmart. It's like where I can do my grocery shopping and shit like that. Man, I ain't never heard of fucking Walmart. Yeah, it's actually another company. So once you do a fictitious business name search, it searches for all the names of all the companies out there and says, hey, you can't use that name. It's already taken. Bullshit. You actually mean there's a company named Walmart out there? Yeah, it's Walmart. Never fucking knew, man. Who named a company Walmart? I thought I was a genius to name that shit. Walmart, man. Yep. Well, fuck it then. I guess I'll name it Kmart since my name's Kevin. It's like, all right, motherfucker, try that. Put that in if you want to. I'm going to try Kmart. Nobody would ever think of fucking Kmart. You try that. You put that name in there and see what comes back. Fucking Kevin. Damn. Thought I had it right. Well, fucking man. Target. I'm going to do Target. Because I think I'm right on the bullseye. I'm fucking bullseye with my company idea of Target. Try that name, Kev. Try it. Kev Mart. I'm gonna name my shit Kev Mart. I'm gonna sell bikes and dog food and some clothes, man. Kev Mart. Say, bro, we already got that store. That's Walmart. Well, I'm gonna be right next to Walmart. I'm Kev Mart. All right, Kev. You do it, Kev. We'll support you. Shoot. Yeah, man. Wait a minute. Let me go back and check out this lift price. Let me F5 refresh. All right, they got as low as 970. Oh, they was up to 976. They dropped to 970. Now they're back up to 973. 1141. Yeah, they got about 18 minutes. 18 minutes before lunch. This is going to be interesting. Do you think they can make a run to 9? This is only what, 17 cents. Can they jump 17 cents in the next 20 minutes? That'll be crazy. Because they can do wait 972 and it was down to 954. That was almost from 10:05. They were at 954 at 10:05. They were at 954 at 10:05. By 10:30, 25 minutes, they were to 972. So that's almost 20 cents. That's almost 20 cents in about 30 minutes. That was almost 20 cents in 30 minutes from 954 up to 972 in about 30 minutes. They can do 18 cents in the next 20 minutes. They can do 18 cents. Somebody just got to start buying like crazy, though. Because at the current rate, I don't see it happening. Now, I think people are scared. Because even Severa said this shit's worth $9. She said, I think it's worth $9. I said, well, I think it's worth 12. So it's going to bounce down to 10 and bounce back up to 12. It's been going crazy. This stuff is going down. It's been going down. What up, Matthew? My man, what's good, brother? They be like, I'm coming to America. This is McDonald's, not McDonald's. I know this is McDonald's, not McDonald's. We got the Big Mick, not the Big Mac. It's like, all right. Chicken Mac nuggets. Oh, these are Chicken Mac chickens. Like, what? Man, this is just McDonald's. This is not McDonald's. This is McDonald's. Like, whatever, man. This is McDonald's. You just copying. No, I'm not. This is McChicken. It's not McNuggets. These are McChicklets. It's like, motherfucker, hold up, man. Yeah, that's just funny. No, but definitely, though, like I said, I'm glad you guys got on live streaming this morning because I was kind of unsure if I was going to do one, but I got up like 1 o'clock this morning. So I've been up for like 7 hours already, which is good. It's only 87 degrees out, so I can go outside, wipe the truck down. Actually, I got to run down to the store anyways and pick up a serpentine belt because my serpentine belt started squeaking on the truck. So I got to go pick that up. Let me see. Wait a minute. Oh. I got a video actually dropping today at noon, I think. Do I got a video dropping at noon today? I think I got a video dropping at noon today. Let me see something. Because I'm telling you, I'll be busy. I'll be going nuts in here. I'll be going nuts. Obama secretly running Kamala's campaign, says former speaker. Everybody knows that because all her speeches sound like Obama speeches. It ain't no secret. Like, come on, man. I'll be seeing that shit. Hold up for a second. Where's my content? Here we go right here. I think, oh, yeah. I got a video dropping today at 12 o'clock. Ooh. Yes, I see you. You Mofasa's boy. I know who you are. No, instead of 12 o'clock, let's move it up to, let's say, 10 o'clock. Let's move it to 10 a.m. Bam. Schedule. All right. So instead of 12, I just moved it up to 10. So it'll drop in about an hour, 15 minutes. I know who you are. You Mofasa's boy. He said, Obalama. What did you just say? Obama. What the hell? 360, what is that? Obamala. What? I can't even pronounce that shit. Obamala. That's funny shit. That's funny. Yeah. But no, definitely. We all know, man. They sent up there, oh yeah, he's secretly running the campaign. Like, no, he ain't. All right, 974. All right, they going back down. Let me show you what they was talking about right here. Hold up for a second. That shit was funny as hell. Obama. Where was that shit at? Where was that at? It was just in here. Oh, I should have saw it. I should have went. I should have just clicked on it when I saw it last, but I didn't. I didn't click on it. Oh, that's something right there. Uber and Airbnb. This right here. Let's see something.
One thing that's kind of interesting about modern day society is that we have all these new companies that we.
That's what I wanted right here.
That has to be hard, though, if you're working for Joe Biden and you think he's going to be.
Can y'all hear this? Can y'all hear this?
And you're an aide working on his staff for his campaign, and all of a sudden things change and they push up Kamala Harris.
Right.
What happens to you?
Especially because they have tensions between the staffs.
Exactly.
Because she couldn't keep anybody. 87% of those staffers have resigned from day one. And then you have the Biden people who think, I don't even know how to work with her. And they don't work with her. And now all of a sudden they get elevated.
And they used to disparage her.
Right. And Jen O'Malley, for example, Jen O'Malley Dillon, the former Biden White House official, talked to her over the weekend, said, I need to know my role. Right. They're all nervous about David Plouffe coming in from the Obama years.
They should be nervous because he's great at his job. Also, you got Stephanie Cutter as well. So David Plouffe apparently is in control of the math. How did they get to 270? Great at his job. Stephanie Cutter is now over messaging, all the communication strategy. The one thing I find troubling, though, okay, you got David Plouffe and Stephanie Cutter that had a great candidate. They had Barack Obama, someone that was on. This is a plan that was 5 years in the making to get him to the presidency. Now they have Kamala Harris, who they can't put on the road to actually talk with voters on a day-to-day basis. Sure, they can keep her on the prompter, but she's not going to have any of those breakout moments. Now, apparently the tension is because they said that David Plouffe is over the math, but he's really running the campaign. Right. And Jen O'Malley Dillon wants her role to be solidified as the campaign manager.
Because when you think about it, I'm going to tell you, the campaign managers are already clashing. We talked about this earlier. We talked about it earlier. And even somebody was saying that they're paying actors $15 to come to the conventions. The reason why I think her campaign people are clashing heads is because everybody has this, we can fix this. Nobody wants you. 99% of the voters last time didn't want you. 99% of registered Democrats in the primary, 99% said they don't want you as their president. We've got to figure out now that we've nominated you without using a primary process, without using a caucus process. We've got to say, since we handed you this position, we gave it to you. Biden didn't want to do this no more. So we're taking all his money. We're taking all of his energy and saying, we're going to give you guys Kamala and we're going to sell it. She's showing up at spots. They're saying there's like 50 people. 50 people. She's showing up. There's 50 people listening to them speak. 50. And then like everybody knows she's coming, but nobody's coming there. So what did they start doing? They started throwing concerts. They started throwing like big ass convention space concerts. They started bringing in DJ D Nice. They brought him in to throw a big concert. So he brought in all his followers. So what they're doing is they tried to use that Kanai guy. He's actually a YouTuber, or he got Twitch account and stuff like that. They tried to use him and say, hey, tell everybody that you're going to do something for me and get all your followers to follow you to me. That's what Kamala Harris is doing right now. Paying people who have a lot of followers. Meg Thee Stallion, Offset, D Nice. They're paying all of these people that have a lot of followers to say, bring your followers to follow me. Because 99% of the people last time that voted said they don't want me. 99% said they don't want me. That's 9%. Not half. That's damn near everybody. So if everybody says they don't believe me and have faith in me in the last primary, we cannot run a primary. If we run a primary, I'm going to get my ass handed to me by another Democratic nominee. So what do they say? They've got Obama basically running her campaign, which is why her speeches now sound so Obama-esque. Her energy, her vernacular has changed. Everything's changed because it's leaning black. She's leaning black now. Not lean back. She's lean black. Motherfucker, instead of Fat Joe, lean black. Lean black. That's what she's doing right now. Yep. And this Kai dude said, nope, I'm not doing it. Because he's smart. He knows. He's the man. Y'all sitting there playing you ain't showed no love, no care, no concern for any black person the whole time you was in office or before office. And all of a sudden you need us. You throwing $15. Hey, $15 to be our actor if you come, we'll give you $15. Her last thing, she had a lot of people, they had Harris signs. They started walking out because they only stayed long enough to get the money. You have to stay X amount of time. So once they got the money, they left. Everybody just started leaving. They was like, why are all these people just leaving? She wasn't even halfway through her speech. Everybody just started bailing out. They got paid already. They were there for a photo op. Come in, get the photo op, get the money, get the certificates, get whatever you got to get, and then you can leave. Yeah, she's a puppet, and they know she's controllable. The Democrats can't deal with a strong candidate. That's why they wanted Joe Biden to stay, because he has no idea what's going on. So you got all these unelected people in Washington right now, all these unelected people running our government because Biden is not strong. Biden cannot run the government. So what do you do if these unelected people want to continue running our government? They need to bring in somebody else just as weak as him. Because if you bring in somebody strong, all these unelected people can no longer run the government now. Now they'll be told, stand down, shut up. You don't know what you're doing. You're not elected. They elected me. I'm the president. I'm this, I'm that. They don't want that. They like throwing money. Hey, we're going to do this. We're going to get you this. We're going to do that. We're going okay. We're going to promise you this, and we're going to promise you that we're going to fix this for you. Everybody who said that they were on Kamala's office and her staff had like the highest turnover rate of almost any politician in Washington. Her staff, people that work with her every day. So if people that work with her every day can't stand her ass, 99% of the registered Democrats in the last primary said they don't want her as the president. How in the hell is all this going to work out? Like, we're not this blind. We're not stupid. We know she has no chance whatsoever in running this country. Zero chance. These are all unelected people that want to run. Yeah. It says, be careful. We would launch a new algo in the market. It killed the surge. Okay. But let me go back and play this video because this is pretty interesting right here.
The Biden team, which a lot of it has morphed into the Harris team with the reelection in Wilmington. And why is it in Wilmington now? Because she's not from Wilmington. They're the people who thought that in the run up to the election, they would put Joe Biden at union halls with 80 people. Right. Suddenly, they've got big events where there are in excess of 10,000 people, and it's completely different. And one of the other things, according to this Politico article that talks a little bit about the tension between the Harris team and the campaign, is the fact that apparently there are some people on the on one of the teams that is badmouth the current vice president who's running for president, and they don't like that person.
Right.
And
I mean, you can see
they're a big part of the team.
Here's the headline of the Politico article. Kamala Harris, United Democrats. Her campaign still has fractures. It talks about how Biden's aides, as you're saying, Steve, in the past have known for their disparaging comments about Kamala Harris. It talks about the daunting task to try to integrate two different political worlds. Right. It talks about David Plouffe coming in, and Kevin McCarthy was interviewed, and he said, because David Plouffe worked for Obama, helped get him elected. He said, Obama's really running the show here. Listen.
You're watching the campaign now. Some of Obama's, David Plouffe and others are now working on the campaign. You're getting the Obamas shifting from running the White House to now running this campaign. This is the most liberal ticket in the history of American politics. We do not want to put San Francisco and Minnesota across this country.
And Nancy Pelosi may have taken Joe Biden out, but remember who was the Speaker of the House during President Barack Obama's presidency? It was Nancy Pelosi. They were very extremely close. Apparently, some of the reporting that we saw during the Sundays and show is that they did not, President Obama, Nancy Pelosi, as well as some of the leadership, did not anticipate Joe Biden selecting Kamala to be the candidate. They were expecting an open primary process, and after that second statement, he named them and put them all in the top
So I think
position.
he's saying to Nancy Pelosi, there's two people with a lot of experience. Number one, I know you ousted me, but I'm going to pick who's next. I know you don't like her because we saw you on television on CNN when asked, should she be the running mate for Joe Biden? He goes, he thinks so. Remember?
Yeah.
He thinks so. And how about this? Imagine if you're Julie Chavez Rodriguez and you're running Joe Biden's campaign, which got a big elevation, right? And all of a sudden you find out now you're in charge of the Sunbelt states.
Well,
really? I thought I was leading. I thought I was the one getting to 270. Now David Plouffe comes off the bench, leaves Kellyanne Conway's podcast, and now runs things. So I hope they work it out because she has a history of not being able to work out anything with her staff. Remember, a terrible campaign staff, a terrible vice presidential staff, who I'm not saying they're bad individually, but collectively, there was no leadership, and they ended up tearing each other's eyes out.
I think they're doing whatever it takes to win.
And like I said, right now, it's a mess. This whole thing is a mess. Like Latina said, at this point, I'm on a 4-year vacation. I'm telling you, it's a mess right now. And I don't think that, anybody who has common sense, logic and common sense, can really look at what's going on and not feel that this is all 2020 all over again. And I don't mean 2020 as far as the election. I mean 2020 as far as the narratives that the media was pushing. Oh, you should get this shot. I mean, this is a whole narrative campaign. And it's a bunch of false flags. It's a bunch of paying for things behind the scenes. It's like, everybody's getting a shot. But it's like they were giving people free donuts. Hey, you get free movie tickets. You get free lottery tickets. You get free. Look, everybody's getting a shot. Everybody's not getting a shot. Everybody's getting free shit, thinking we have to be paid to get this. Hey, if you get the shot, we give you a free day off of work. Oh man, I get a paid day off of work if I get the They're doing the same thing. Kamala Harris campaign. This is all Democratic stuff. Give people money, give them something, give them a pacifier, and it'll make us look like, they wanted to do it. I wanted to get the shot. No, you wanted the donut. You wanted the lottery ticket. You wanted the money. You wanted the day off. So, you want to keep your job. If you don't get the shot, you can't keep your job. They're making it appear that all of these people are freely doing these things when they're not. People are being paid actors to go to campaigns. They're being given, tickets to concerts. Hey, come see Meg Thee Stallion for free. How much does the Meg Thee Stallion concert cost? If you had to go see Meg Thee Stallion, how much would it cost? Like $150? $150 to see Meg Thee Stallion. If you had to go see D-Nice, if you had to go see all these artists, $150, $200 a ticket. Imagine if you can see them for free. Imagine that, you can come see Meg Thee Stallion for free. How? Come to the Kamala Harris campaign. We got a big thing. Oh, yeah. You just show your ID at the door. And that's funny because she's making everybody show IDs, but she don't want nobody to show ID to get in this country. Show IDs at the door. And you get in to see Meg Thee Stallion and everything. All I got to do is show my ID. That's all you got to do. Come in, show your ID. And when you get there, we're going to give you Kamala Harris posters. Nobody had this shit at home. They came there and they were given all of this stuff. This was all photo op. It was all paid for. It was all photo op. So it's like you come down, you see your music stars for free. You see your movie stars for free. We give you $15. We give you all these Kamala Harris posters. We give you all this stuff. And then we do videos and photos. And you guys just cheer when we say cheer. And it makes it look like you guys are freely here. Like you came here to campaign with us. Now, when she don't do that stuff, when she don't have superstars, who's there? When she went to the UAW, how many people from the UAW showed up? She invited the entire United Auto Workers Union, the entire union. Like 35 people showed up out of the entire UAW union in Detroit. 35 people showed up. They had to spread the chairs out to make the room look full. Each chair was like 2 feet apart from each other to make the room look full. And I'm like, this is what happens when you show up without an attraction. She's not an attraction. 99% of the people in the last primary said, we don't want her. Even this guy right here on the Fox News, he said, this is the first time they've ever ran a campaign, no primary, no caucus. Just, hey, here you go. We're going to give you somebody. We'll just give you somebody. I'll step down, but I'm going to give you somebody. This is who you have to have running my place. What? If you step down, if I step down, you got to let her run in my place. Why? Because there's something else tied to that position. The presidential position is for sale. The Democratic one, it's for sale. So if you become a Democratic president, you got all these corporations in your pocket. Tony West is there. Obama's there. All these people are there right now on the Democratic ticket right now, trying to get a victory out of a candidate that 99% of registered Democrats said, we don't want her. 99% said we don't want her. They had a chance to vote this lady in last election. They had a chance to vote her and they said, nope, not doing it. We don't like her. So what happened? Joe Biden says, well, we'll just make you VP. And he was told to make her VP because even Nancy Pelosi and everybody else was like, yeah, well, he likes her. Like, we don't, he likes her. Everybody admits it. The Democrats admit it. They admit it, man. And it's like, people can't even see it. They sitting there looking at it like, well, it's because no, it's because you have a very low IQ and you're going to see what you want to see when the facts are all right in front of you. Everything's in front of you. And we leave that shit alone. So she hasn't done a press conference or released any platform yet. Nope. And she started stealing ideas out of the Trump campaign because she saw everybody, like all the rideshare drivers. Everybody was like, yes, no tax on tips. All the rideshare drivers, all the waitresses, everybody, yes, no tax on tips. Her very next speech, she didn't even wait 2 weeks. She waited to the very next one. And I'm not going to tax tips. Yeah, no tax on tips. I mean, the very next speech. She saw the rise that Trump got on it. Yeah, no tax. Yeah. Everybody was like, yeah. Everybody's talking about it online. Man, rideshare drivers talking about it. Anybody who's working gigs talking about it. Very next speech she gave. the Democrats was like, hey, make sure you use that. I mean, if it was about, not paying your school loans back, we'd get a rise out of that. But we already used that already. Not paying your student loans back, we use that, so we can't use that again. How about no tax on tips? Trump is saying it and everybody loves it. It's like, man, it's just stupid, man. Everybody, they pretended they can't see it with their own eyes. You see a video where Pelosi said the letter where Biden stepped down doesn't sound like Biden and said she didn't write it. And she said he didn't write. Oh, I know it. Because Obama's running the show, man. People don't realize what's really going on right now, man. People don't realize. Let's look at this lift price before we get out of here. Yeah, 982. They making a run for it. 982, and that's at 1202. I said it was gonna make it to 992. I said 992, and it made it to 982. All right, so we were all the way down to 972. Look, I said it. I said they can come back. They were at 969, 972 at 1140. They got the 969 at 1135. In 30 minutes, they went from 969 all the way up to 982. What is that? That's 13 cents. Yeah, 13. They almost made 20 cents. They almost did the 20-cent run. They did a 13-cent run. I said, if they did it down here, they went from 954 all the way up to 972. That was an 18-cent run. They just did a 13-cent run right here. So it's like, okay, if they can keep making those little penny runs, man, they can get somewhere. It's only up a nickel today. They're up, 5 cents. So they're going to keep doing these little 15-cent run, 13-cent run, 20-cent runs. They only got to go 10 more cents to make 992. They got 10 more cents before the end of the day. They're at lunch right now, 10 more cents, and the day is over. If they can make it to 992, they're at 982 right now. We'll see if they can make it. So we're done sharing that. I'm glad you guys are sitting here watching. Yeah, Lyft was paying more than Uber yesterday. Tardy said the delegates chose her. Tardy, I don't think you understand. The delegates are not part of a primary. Okay, I'm going to explain this to Tardy so Tardy understands what happens. This is what a primary is. When I want to run for president, I have no delegates at all. Let's start from the very beginning because we're going to start from kindergarten because I don't think you get it. We're going to start from kindergarten. Let's say I want to become president. I have no delegates at all. None. Zero. You want to run for president. You have no delegates at all. We have to have a primary. So we have a primary where you and I debate each other. We're debating. You and I still have no delegates. We're debating. The people in these places where we're debating, they have to select who they would vote for. Would they vote for me or vote for you? That's why they call it a primary. You get mail-in ballots. You get to go in. You get to vote at the voting booth. It's just me and you. We have no delegates. It's a primary. Next, we have the Iowa caucus. We got the caucus where we get together. We do the same thing again. Everybody who wants to be president, we all have a debate. Everybody votes, mail-in ballots, whatever this and that. They go and they vote at the voting booth or they mail in. Nobody has any delegates left. Once they count all those votes, they say, hey, everybody chooses Jeff. And so the delegates go, since everybody's choosing Jeff and not Tardy, then we'll have to go with Jeff. The delegates say that. I don't say that. All the people say we want Jeff. So the delegates say we got to choose what the people say. So the people say Jeff, so we go with Jeff. Now, if the people said Tardy, then they go with Tardy. The delegates will say, well, we got to choose Tardy because the people said Tardy. So what do you do in a dictatorship is you don't allow anybody to vote. You just tell people, this is going to be your next presidential nominee. This is who you're going to vote for. So you skip kindergarten and you go straight to senior year. You don't go to first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade. All these are primaries. All these are caucuses and primaries where everybody's voting. Are you going to vote for Tardy? Let's have a campaign speech. So Kamala never campaigned against a single person. You cannot name to me one person she campaigned against. Now, when she did campaign years ago, she got 1% of the vote in the primary. 1% of Americans. 1% of Americans said we'd like to see her as a president. 1%. 99% said we don't want her as a president. So she never made it out of primaries because 99% of Americans said we don't think she's presidential material. 99%. We're not talking delegates. Delegates are later down the road because the process has to go. Primaries, caucuses, delegates make a choice. So when you say the delegates chose her, the delegates didn't have no fucking choice. Who else could the delegates have chosen? There was no primary. There was no caucus. That's like me putting steak on your fucking plate and saying, hey, man, you chose steak. You chose what the fuck I just put in front of you because there was nothing else in front of you. So you got to understand what the process is. If I put fish in front of you and I put a steak in front of you, now you have a choice. You make a choice. Your primary choice. I choose fish. And you say, okay, so you choose fish. You had a choice. So now that you chose fish, you can ask people, so everybody, who do y'all choose? We choose fish. Okay, we choose fish. But if I don't give you a choice, because I'm not running a primary, I'm not running a caucus, I'm not giving you any option. The only thing I'm telling you as a dictator is this is what you're eating: steak. Well, I don't want steak. Don't give a shit what you want. That's what you got. 99% of the people said, we don't want Kamala. We don't give a shit what you want. That's what you got. Well, we voted last time in a primary and nobody wanted her. Don't give a shit what you want. That's what you got. But I'm going to tell you, the Democrats giving Kamala the nomination was illegal. And I'm going to tell you, Simple Toaster, how many people do you know did things in government? Did things. Look at Fannie Willis. For instance, Fannie Willis did things in government. She got her position. She's now being investigated. And potentially people are saying she's going to be indicted. But the people who voted for general elections. What? I don't get that. But the people who voted for general elections. Kamala's name was not on anything. Fannie Willis is going to get indicted for all the shit she did during her campaign, like keeping the campaign funds, all the violations she did. So you will be indicted later, but you got to actually do the crime in order to be indicted. So if Kamala and the Democrats do all of this, they can all be indicted afterwards. So the investigation will take place. The violations of laws will take place. People will end up serving time or being found guilty of things. But you said, but the people who vote for general elections, Tardy, that doesn't make any sense right there. But the people, you got to say an actual like sentence. Because if I walk up and just told somebody, but the people who vote for general elections, they'll look at me like, what the fuck are you talking about? That's not even a complete like English sentence. What are you talking about? You got to understand the process. Do me a favor. Go look up the process of electing the president. Go look up the process. Because I think you're running on mainstream media brain cells right now, where you're just saying, hey, since they told us Kamala, then it's Kamala. It's not how it works. That's not how it works. You've got to have a primary. I don't even think you understand what a primary even is. I think that word is something new to you. A caucus is probably something you've never heard of. These are all new words to you. And because you're probably not involved in politics. So what I'm saying to you is probably foreign material. It's like I'm speaking Chinese to you. You have no idea what a primary is. What the fuck is a primary? I never heard of fucking primary. I heard of a delegate. Delegate chose a delegate. The delegates had no fucking choice. Her name's but the people would have the choice to vote at the general elections. But that's like saying, I'm not going to give you a driver's license, but I'm going to let you drive a car later. There's things in steps. You saying, but the people would have the choice to vote at the general elections. The problem is there was no primary. General starts with the letter G. Primary starts with the letter P. Like I said, I'm going to take this shit all the way back to kindergarten with you. Primary starts with the letter P. It's Primary. Primary. Somebody spell that shit for me in the chat. General is General. That's another fucking word. Two different words, two different points of time. You need a primary, a Primary, to choose who's going to run for the president, and the general, General. So you got two states. If you don't have a primary, Primary, and you skip over that, that's a dictatorship. Because people have a choice to choose in the primary, Primary, at who they want to run. Kamala has to she has to have a debate against other Democrats who might want to be president too. She has to have a debate. It might be a guy named John wants to be president. So John and Kamala have to debate. Once they pass the primary, Primary, they make it to the general. The general is where you have the Democrat and Republican election now. They have to win that. So when you skip over the primary, you're missing an entire part of choosing a president. You just nixed out that entire part. It's like saying, I'm going to drive my car down the street, but you don't have a set of keys. And you just get in the car. What you going to do, hot wire the motherfucker? Exactly. Primary means first. And that's the thing. It's not that I got to start all the way back over from kindergarten, but people, they want to gaslight you to make you think you don't understand what the fucking process is. They want to gas the but the delegates chose her, but the general. No, primary is Primary. It's not general. General starts with the letter G. It's a whole nother process. So if you don't have a primary first, you skip the whole process. That means you can nullify the whole process. Yes, I graduated back in high school in the 80s. Let's move on. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling, and it's like you gotta help people understand what basics is. You got to start all the way at the basics. And like I said, I'm not mean with people. I just don't want people to think they can gaslight me with bullshit. I break it all the way down and I make them rethink about who they're talking to. Break that shit all the way down to kindergarten level and say, now let's start from there now. Now, how you gonna start from kindergarten and still say you don't know how to fucking say your alphabet? If I just told you how to say the alphabet and you still don't know how to say the alphabet. I went all the way back. This is how the election process works out. You have people who want to be the president. 10 of us want to be the president. 10 of us. We have to have a primary election. The primary is where people say, hey, we think Jeff can be the president. Yeah, actually, I think Tardy could be the president. Actually, I think Latina should be the president. Well, let's have a primary election. Let's hold an election. Who gets the most votes? Jeff, Tardy, Latina. Oh, shit, Latina got the most votes in the primary. Because she got the most votes in the primary, now delegates come in. And delegates say, I was standing behind my man, Jeff. Delegates say, I was standing behind my man, Tardy. Delegates say, I was standing behind my girl, Latina. But since Latina won the primary, all the delegates say, well, we got to stand behind Latina now. We see it every presidential election. This is the process they use. This is the first election that I've ever seen that didn't hold a primary. The first election in my life. I'm 51. First election in my life where they skipped the whole election process and said, I'm the president. So what I want to do is I just want to tell you guys who your next president is going to be. Like, who the fuck are you to tell us? We get a chance. You telling me that I don't get a chance to go to the vote for Jeff, Latina, or Tardy? I can't vote for one of them in a primary election? No, this is going to be your next president. This one right here. And not only that, delegates, all you guys, all you delegates, support this person because I'm telling you, this is going to be the next president. Okay, so who the fuck are you? You some old creepy ass sleepy dude right now. You sleepy fucking Joe. How you gonna tell us, Sleepy Joe, that this is our president? Like you just that's dictator shit. Dictator shit. This is who you're gonna choose right here, guys. This one right here. Well, 99% of us says she wasn't. We don't want her to be president. 99% of us. Last time she tried to run, 99% of us said, "Fuck that. We don't want her." No, delegates even said we don't want her. 99% said that we don't want her. So now you're going to be like, this is who you're choosing. Motherfucker, we're not children. The primary was skipped. This will be an investigation. You think J6 was bad. You think J13 was bad. Oh, this shit's going to be bad. This is going to be bad. They're going to have so many constitutional lawyers eating this shit alive. Wow. That was not primarily because there was no challenger. The Democrats are unified. Tardy. Don't tell me you that slow. Oh, the Democrats are unified. You ever heard of RFK Jr.? Have you ever heard of RFK Jr.? Let me bring up something real quick for you. The Democrats are unified. You never heard of RFK Jr. So RFK Jr. wanted to run for president this year. I don't think that's it. RFK Jr. wanted to run for president this year. RFK Jr. did. He's a Democrat. He wanted to run for president this year. But the Democrats said, we don't have time because we lied about Joe Biden being healthy enough to run a campaign. We lied about that. We lied. There's an investigation going on, Tardy. There's an investigation going on right now about lying about Joe Biden's health. Tardy, listen to me when I tell you this. I'm gonna slow down. Let me slow down. Tardy. Joe Biden was running for president against President Trump. That's part one. That's part one. Joe Biden was running for president against President Trump. That's part one. Because he has a chance to. Joe Biden had a few people that wanted to run. Like RFK Jr. was talking about running. All these people was talking about running. But everybody's like, you know what? If Biden's going to run, let's support Biden. He's the president right now. So he's the incumbent. People are trying to unseat the incumbent. No, he's on the independent ticket. Exactly. So they're trying to unseat the incumbent. The incumbent doesn't need to run a ton of primaries and shit like that. The incumbent simply says, if you guys want to take my seat, come for my seat. All the Democrats were like, it's kind of hard to run against Trump. It's kind of hard. We have nobody who we think can really beat Trump. We don't have anybody. Joe Biden's the man. He's the only thing we got. Let's run with Biden. Stay with me, Tardy. Stay with me. This is about not being about unified for Democrats. Nobody can beat them. Nobody can beat them. Okay. They lied about Biden's health. That's part two. They lied because number one was Joe Biden was going to run against Trump. That was number one. Stick with number one. Number two, they lied about his health. I know you remember him saying, I'm running no matter what. Jesus couldn't kick me out of this race. God couldn't kick me out of this race. I'm running no matter what. He said that. 24 hours later, I'm dropping out because he did that debate and he got his ass handed to him. I'm dropping out. If you're into politics like I think you probably trying to be, then you know what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about shit you haven't heard yet. None of this is new information to you. I'm just pointing out the timeline, and then you're going to see where they fucked up. All the Democrats, all the Republicans, everybody was saying Joe Biden, he's not mentally with it. They were saying that for the long. He's not mentally with it. Everybody said, no, he's mentally with it. He's mentally with it. He's mentally with it. Come to find out after the debate, I'm not mentally with it. I'm not mentally fit to run for president. Are you mentally fit to be? Now people are saying if you're not mentally fit to even run for president, even run, just campaign for one. Campaign for one. Then what makes you fit to be one? They're talking about taking his ass up out of the White House right now. You don't believe me? Google that shit. Google it. They're looking at taking his ass out of right now. Everybody lied about his health. They lied about his health. This was all a deep state plot. It was a plot. A lot of people are calling this shit out. Not just me. A lot of people are calling this out. Professionals, attorneys, politicians, newscasters, podcasters. Everybody's calling. It was bullshit. You're the only one sitting there going, well, it's because the Democrats are unified. Really? So you're going to say all these people that know shit about the political landscape of this country, and you go, oh, no, all you guys are wrong. You guys are wrong. This is just the Democrats are just unified. That's all. Democrats are unified. Remember, Biden was going to run against Trump. Biden all of a sudden drops out all of a sudden. All the interviews behind Biden. All the money from all the donors are behind Biden. ActBlue, everybody was behind. A lot of hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars were donated already to the Democratic campaigns just for Biden, not for nobody else. Look up election campaign finance. I'm giving you notes. Your second set of notes need to say election campaign financing. That's the second part of your notes. When you look up election campaign finance, this ain't shit about, oh, well, the Democrats are unified. No, this is a lot of illegal shit going on. Look up election campaign financing. Look up whether or not a candidate who drops out of a race, out of a campaign, a candidate can transfer their funds to another candidate. Look it up, election campaign financing. When you look that up, you will see there are caveats to it. You will see there are a lot of illegal things can be done if somebody fake runs, pretends that they're going to run, pretends that they're going to run for office just to get all these donations, ramps everybody up, gets all these billions in. It says, oh, psych, I'm not really fucking running. When everybody said we knew something was up. We knew something was up. No, Tart ain't going to rile me up. I think a lot of people out there don't understand the political landscape, and they're really trying to gaslight people who know shit as if we should be wearing a fucking mask while we drive by ourselves. I'm not wearing a mask if I'm driving by myself, just like I'm not believing no bullshit about, well, the Democrats are just so unified, we didn't have to have a primary. You know how many Democrats right now are going red? They're going red. You got whole full-blown Democrats leaving the Democratic Party. You got whole voters leaving the Democratic row. But Democrats are unified. Unified in what? Stupidity? Like, what are they unified in? Because they're not unified in Democratic shit. None of them like the immigration policies that the Democrats are throwing on the table. So I'm sitting there like, for them to skip over everything, and most Democrats don't even know the political process. Most Democrats can't even fucking probably balance a checkbook. And that's sad. Think about it. We talk about how, financial literacy is really horrible in a community, really horrible. You can't balance a fucking checkbook, but you understand the political process. You understand the election campaign laws. You understand the transitions of power. Even Joe Biden, all of these people are saying they know what they were doing was wrong, but they ran out of time. Just because you say you ran out of time does not give you a right to commit a crime. I know my rent's due on the 1st, but I can't go rob 7-Eleven because I ran out of time to go to work. I can't go commit a crime because I'm running out of time. Oh, man, I'm running out of time. I got to go steal a car so I can get my ass to work. I'm running out of time. Nobody give a shit about that running out of time. We running out of time, man. We don't have enough time to do it. And we don't have enough time. Well, fuck it. I'm going to go rob a bank because I'm running out of time. I'm running out of time. You can't use running out of time as an excuse. Running out of time is lack of planning on your part. Joe Biden was already old and decrepit. They knew it. They lied. Go back to number 2 of what I told you. They lied about his health. They lied. Number 1, Biden was running against Trump. Number 2, they lied about his health. I told you, this shit all's playing a part in all of this. And if you're not quick enough to retain this information and keep this in your head and you just drop shit out, shit goes in one ear out the other and you're not retaining the game, you gonna miss the fucking game. You missing what they doing right in front of your face. Trump's gonna be a dictator as they do dictator shit. They throwing fear at you. Trump's gonna be a dictator. But yet y'all doing dictator shit. Don't worry about that. We running out of time. We got to do this. We run out of time. Wait a minute. How you going to say this dude going to be doing dictator shit and you doing? That's like you slapping the shit out of somebody, but then saying, hey, man, he going to slap you when he see you. But you just slapped me, though. But we run out of time. He going to slap you when he see you, though. When he see you, he going to slap you. But you just slapped me like right in the face right now. That's like how you going to say somebody going to be a dictator when you doing dictator shit right now. Nobody transfers power from one candidate to another candidate who ain't even in the race. Kamala Harris was not even running for president. She is the vice president who only takes over if he's incapacitated or dies. That's the only time she could take over as president. Incapacitated or dies. She cannot take over his presidential campaign for re-election. That's not right. You don't take over somebody's campaign for re-election just because you run out of time. It's like, oh, you know what, Joe? I'm going to take over your campaign for now. I'm running for president now. Joe's going to step down. No, that's where we go all the way back to the beginning. First, primary. You have to run a primary. Who do the people of America want to elect? You can't say, people of America, you want to elect her? Yeah, no, yeah, no, yeah. Well, guess what? You're going to elect her anyway, you idiots. We ain't got nobody else for you because we're running out of time. So it's like you're telling all these people, none of your fucking opinions matter. We're telling you who we're going to put up there. We're telling you to your face, your vote don't matter to us. Whether or not you vote for her, and like I said, 99% of the registered Democrats who voted in the last primary, 99% of them said we don't want Kamala Harris. So we don't care if 99% of y'all don't want her, 99% of y'all finna get her. We don't care what y'all say. We ain't running the primary. We ain't got time for that shit. We ain't running the primary. We ain't running no caucus. We putting all this money up, and we putting all this money on her right now because Biden's got to drop out because we shouldn't have had his ass up here in the first place. And now, everybody's like, well, all the delegates chose her. Who else did they? Nobody else was on the ticket. You can't choose other things if you only have one. That's like, let's say you going to the movies with your wife tonight. Let's say you're going to the movie with your wife tonight. Which wife are you taking? Which wife are you taking to the movies tonight? You're like, Jeff, I only got one. Exactly. You don't have a fucking choice. You only got one. It ain't like you got two wives. You got one. But in the American democratic system, we got choices. We have 2, we have 3, we have 5 people we choose. And that's what we use a primary for. That's what we use a caucus for. This ain't no fucking marriage. We don't love Kamala. We don't love Trump like that. This ain't no fucking marriage. We elect, we nominate people. So you can't sit up and go, well, I'm going to the movie tonight, but I'm taking my other wife. Your wife will look at you like, who the fuck else are you married to? Just like you can't sit up there and go, hey, you know what? We're going to elect the president, but we should have a platter of people. And the Democrats say, we don't need a fucking platter of people. We only got one person we're going to elect. If it's not Biden, then we'll give you her. I mean, that's the thing. Either you take her or you take her. That's all that matters. You take her or you take her. You don't have a choice. And that's why the Democrats panicked. They fucking panicked. Their house is burning down right now. They're committing constitutional violations right now. Let me pull up, let's say, presidential election process. Let's do like this. Bam. Here we go. Oh. Here we go right here. Oh, let me bring this up right here. Hold on. Let me bring this up. Let me show you what I mean. Let me show you what I mean. Bam. So this right here, for all the people who don't know how a president is elected, this is how a president, it said the process to elect a president takes almost 2 years. The process to elect a president takes almost 2 years. So guess what they say? We ran out of time. We ran out of time. We got to just throw somebody in the mix. We ran out of the process to elect the president takes almost 2 years. And it says an election for a president of the United States happens 4 years on the first Tuesday after the first Monday in November. The next president's election will be November the 5th, 2024. Now it says this is the time of year. What is the typical presidential election cycle? Spring of the year before an election. So last year, it says candidates must register with the Federal Election Commission. These are real people, not made up, to run for president. Candidates must register with the Federal Election Commission to run for president. While there is no federal deadline to register, there are other requirements. Learn about registering as a presidential candidate. Spring of the year before an election. Candidates announce their intentions to run. That's spring of the year before an election. Summer of the year before an election through the spring of the election year. Just from last summer to the spring. Primary and caucus debates take place. Tardy, you see what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying? Let me blow this shit up. Let me blow that shit up to about there. Summer of the year before an election through the spring of election year. So summer 2023 all the way until spring 2024, primary and caucus debates take place. This is the typical presidential election cycle. I'm gonna keep telling you. Overview of the presidential election process. And you tell me at what point did Kamala get involved? Because none of this shit really shows when she got in. January to June of the election year. So from January of this year to June of this year, states and parties hold presidential primaries and caucuses. January 2024 to June 2024, states and parties hold presidential primaries. Primary starts with a P, general starts with a G, and caucuses. From July to early September, parties hold nominating conventions to choose their presidential candidates. Just before or during the convention, the presidential candidate announces their vice presidential running mate. This is the only part that the Democrats have done. Parties hold nominating conventions. So they missed kindergarten. They didn't do this. They didn't do this. They didn't do that. They didn't do that. They started here. So they missed step 1, 2, 3, 4, started at step 5. That means nobody here participated in voting for Kamala. All of this from spring of last year. Kamala should have said, I'm running for president. Spring of last year, all the way down. She never said a single word because everybody was lying. Remember, I told you about step 2, lying about his health. They were lying about his health. Oh, he's fine. He could run. He's fine. There's no problem. He's fine. No. And now, what was it? This summer. So that was right here. The presidential primaries and caucuses. Wait, it was July to early September, right here, when they started holding nomination conventions. This is where he decided, I'm too sick to run. September and October is where candidates participate in presidential debates because you got July to early September, not August. July to early September, you got all the conventions. People had to vote. They had to choose their presidential candidate and they had to choose their vice presidential running mate. This is a long ass process, a very long process. So September and October is when the candidates start debates. So Kamala Harris jumped in right here and now we're here. She left out all this shit. She's not ready yet. First, she's not legally even in the position she's in right now. She was like dictator thrown in there. Hey, guess what? We're not going to register you with the Federal Election Commission to run for president. We're not going to announce your intention to run. We're not going to hold a primary caucus in a debate. We're not going to have state and parties hold presidential primaries and caucuses. But what we're going to do is we're going to have we're going to nominate the conventions to choose our presidential candidate, and we're going to choose the vice president and everything else. That's what we're going to do. So we're going to skip steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and go straight to fucking 6. You telling me anybody who knows how elections work are going to sit there and say, no, this is all done right. There's nothing wrong with the way it's done. This shit is law. This is the law right here. The presidential election process, just like immigration shit, is law. But when you're dealing with Democrats, they don't give a fuck about law. They'll lock you up for shit. You smoke some crack, you'll go to jail. But their kids won't go to jail. Hunter Biden can smoke crack. He ain't going to jail. He can smoke crack and have a gun. Why he smoking crack? He ain't going to jail. It's the president's son. They make laws for other people. So when you look at all of this here, like I said, we're not even in September yet. They haven't done none of this shit yet. We haven't had a single caucus, a single primary, nothing from the Democratic side. But yet Trump had to do it. Trump ran against Nikki Haley. He ran against, DeSantis. Trump did all of this. Everybody registered to run for president. Everybody had their announcements, intentions to run. Everybody on the Republican side did these steps. We remember all the primaries and the caucuses and the debates and everything. It was all the way down to Nikki Haley, and everybody was voting for who they wanted. And it was all the Democrats didn't do none of this shit. They said, no, we're dictators, dog. We'll tell you who to fucking vote for. We don't need to do all this. This ain't got shit to do with us. This is what Republicans do. We go around the Constitution. We go around we don't mess with these people, man. We go around the Constitution. We go straight into what we want to do. If we want to run for office, we're running for office. That's what they say. Say Kamala will be 2028 president, if not 2024, if the Simpsons are right. Yeah, but then that's the thing, though. She still got to be voted in through a primary. She only got 1%. 1%. They didn't put anybody. And this is the thing what pisses me off. The fact that Joe Biden, when he was running for president, as racist as he could possibly be, and all the powers that be that are around him running his shit, all the powers around him running it, sat there and said, for my VP, I want a black woman. If you're not black, you could be a white woman, don't interview. You're a white woman. White man, definitely don't interview. Black man, you're not welcome. Black woman. We're narrowing it down. This is who we want to control this shit. Black woman. Oh, please. Hey, everybody eat his ass up. Eat him up. Trump did not participate in the primary, and he refused to debate other candidates. This is somebody who don't know politics. Bro, do you know who Nikki Haley is? Do you know who? I tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to help you out because apparently you don't know much, and we're going to help you today. Today, we're going to say Republican primary 2024. Okay. This is right here. Wait a minute. Bam. Yeah. Wait a minute. Share. So this right here is the American presidential primaries. How candidates are chosen.
Has already entered the race to try and replace Joe Biden.
See, look.
Has already entered the race to try and replace Joe. But there's quite a lot that has to happen before then. And we might be about to enter the most turbulent.
Let me start over. Because what I just read
in November
this is it.
2024, America will choose who it wants to be its next president.
It's time to finish the job.
But there's quite a lot that has to happen before then. And we might be about to enter the most turbulent period in modern American political history. Donald Trump has already entered the race to try and replace Joe Biden.
America's comeback starts right now.
So Trump's already
despite 4 criminal indictments against him.
No matter how powerful you are, no matter how much money you think you may have,
let me go now.
no one is above the law.
But before he can do that, he needs to win the backing of the Republican Party in a process known as the primaries.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? He needs to win the backing of the Republican Party known as the primaries. So when you win a primary, that means everybody has to vote. Donald Trump ran in a primary. Now, this is all for Tardy because Tardy is kind of tarded. So we're going to help this motherfucker out who said Trump didn't run in no primary. We're going to help you out, dog. We're going to help you out. For him to sit up
more than a year before the election, candidates start to enter themselves into the race.
Are you listening?
First, Democrats and Republicans in each state must choose who they want to be their nominee. In most states,
Democrats and Republicans in each state, Tardy, listen, Democrats and Republicans in each state must choose who they want for their nominee. Like people like me, citizens, not delegates, citizens. This is what I'm talking about. This is the process.
That works on a secret ballot, a little bit like a British general election. But in a select few, like Iowa and Nevada, it works on what's called a caucus, where a show of hands or standing on one side of the room allows voters to choose who they want to represent them. That then translates into delegates who go from each state to a national convention, where the nominee is chosen.
So there you go.
You may not like him, you may not like his attitude, you may not like his personality, but you got to trust his heart. This man puts America first, and that's what I'm voting for.
In the Republican polls, Donald Trump still remains the frontrunner. That's despite 4 criminal indictments against him, including claims that he illegally stashed documents at his Mar-a-Lago home in Florida, that he covered up payments to a porn star, and that he attempted to turn over the 2020 election loss to Joe Biden.
It's almost like I wake up in the morning, do you think they'll arrest me today? I never got arrested before.
But even if he was sent to prison by a state or federal court, he could still run in 2020. And we might be about to enter the most turbulent period.
So that basically nixes Tardy saying he didn't run in the primary. If he didn't run in primaries, if he did not run in primaries, how is he winning votes in the primaries if he didn't run in the primaries? How did he just show up right now against Kamala Harris out of the fucking blue? He didn't. He ran in primaries. You had to vote for him in primaries. Everybody had to vote for him in primaries. So if he just out of the fucking blue just popped up today, hey, my name's Trump and I'm running. Yeah, exactly. You can't save everybody, man. You can't. But it cracks me up that people even on this channel, like Tardy, I've seen his name on this channel before. So for the fact that he's like really this fucking slow, and I'm thinking, bro, you got to understand the speed of the channel you're on. We're really intelligent people. If you're going to say stuff on this channel, know what you're talking about first off. Know what you're talking about, because we're going to check your ass, and you know how we are over here. You're not brand new. You're not brand new. So thinking about why they hammering on me. We're not hammering on you. You came on this channel, you try to gaslight us to thinking Trump didn't run in the primary. 2, the delegates chose Kamala, so that's the way that she got in when she never did a primary or a set of caucuses. So yeah, you're trying to gaslight the wrong fucking people. We're a little too intelligent for the shit that's being pulled on Democrats. And you wonder why Democrats are in the position they're in right now, because they are not as intelligent. They don't read. My mom used to tell me all the time, if you want to hide something from black people, put that shit in the book. All this shit is writing. It's all writing. And you won't even Google it to go look at it, to check it out, to say, oh shit, yeah. And it was like, here, this is the 2024 presidential debate. These are all the people that ran. Christie. These are all the people that were running for president right here.
The verdict is in for Fight Night in Milwaukee.
You have no foreign policy experience, and it shows. And you know what?
So let me tell you this. I'm going to bring this screen up right here. These are 8, not counting Trump. These are all 8 Republican people who were running for the president. They were all 8 running. All 8 were running for president this year. All 8. So how can you tell me all 8 of these people were running for president this year? Trump makes 9. What do you mean he didn't participate in the primary? His name was on the ballot in the primary. What do you mean he didn't participate in the primary? The primary is a vote. The primary is a vote. You don't participate in a primary. You are a part of the primary when people vote for you in the primary. That's what it. What do you think? You think a primary is an event? Like you get to run or something like that? No, he don't. You can go to debates or you don't have to go to debates. How long did Joe Biden avoid making a debate? How long did Joe Biden avoid making a single debate? How long? The only debate you saw Joe Biden give, the only one, was against Trump where he fucked up. How many debates had Trump done up to that point? At least 5 that I can think of, because he had to debate Nikki Haley. He had to debate, I think it was DeSantis. He debated like probably 2 or 3 of these people on here before he got to Joe Biden and laid his ass out. Joe Biden didn't do a single debate, but Joe Biden, he went through a primary, didn't he? That's what you're saying. He went through a primary. A primary is a voting process. So to say Trump wasn't involved in the voting process when the last video I told you was Trump won most of the votes in the voting process. The primary is the voting process. Trump won most of the primary votes. That is called participating in the primary. So how can he not participate in the primary when all the fucking votes in the primary were to him in the primary? Make it make sense, dog. Make it make sense. I think you're very lost. You're very lost. I don't think you understand what's really going on right now. Like all this shit spinning your head around. Like you think a primary and a debate are the same thing. The debates lead up to help people know who to vote for in the primary. The debates lead up to help people say who we gonna vote for in the caucus. The primary is the actual process of voting for people who you want to represent you in the next election. The debates are when you speak to people, when you're talking to people. That's what a debate is. A debate is not you walk. Me voting for somebody is not a debate. Me voting for somebody is me voting in the primary election. My vote is a primary election. That's it. It's a vote in the primary. Trump can't participate in a primary as far as you know, him speaking to somebody. Speaking to somebody is the debate during the primaries. That, like I said, I don't understand what you're talking about, man. I mean, you got me fucking confused on the shit now. It's like, man. And it's like, that's the thing, man. It's like for 10 cents a day, you can help a short bus month. Exactly. I'm telling you, man. And it's like these people, they want to try to gaslight us as if we don't know what we're talking about. We know for 100%, 1,000% sure, 1,000% sure. This your own mayor supports Democrats, but they're Republican because they knew Trump is for himself. Our mayor, do you know who Katie Hobbs is? The governor or whatever, Katie Hobbs or whoever it is. Like we had our own election process here. We had a lady who won the seat in Arizona who never campaigned and never went to a debate. She never debated, never went to a campaign. And all the election ballots were fucked up in Arizona. It was to the point where the ballots weren't even reading because they were printed on the wrong size paper. They printed all the ballots on the wrong size paper on a skew so the shit wouldn't count. I'm like, bro, how? And when people report on this shit, like people think I'm joking. Hold, let me go tell you this right here. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Because people be like, what the fuck do you mean? Is that legal? Oh, hold up for a second. Wait a minute. I know what was in here. Oh, let me go back to Arizona. Let me say Arizona. Arizona. There we go. Here we go right here. So this is what I'm talking about. This is how they fucked up the Arizona elections right here. This is how they fucked up the Arizona elections. And they did it on purpose. The Democrats did this. The Democrats did this shit on purpose. This is funny shit.
Definitely concerned about what they're going to come out with and what the Republican leadership will do with that result, which we know is not going to be a valid result.
This is actually a newsletter that was put out by Maricopa County that talks about the paper types that are utilized. And specifically, they state that they use vote secure paper. Now, if vote secure paper is utilized, it's actually a thick paper. It has a special coating on it that helps make sure there isn't bleed through. And so it would help ensure that bleed through wouldn't be a problem, even if things happen to be not perfectly calibrated.
Listen to this shit.
If you scroll down to the next page, we're going to give you an example of an actual ballot where you can see the bleed through that goes through. And you can see that the bleed through is actually very, very close to where votes are cast.
How dare you?
That was in Arizona.
Maricopa County, my friends.
That's where I live.
Hot. It's on fire, boys.
That's where I live.
Senate meeting going on. It's happening still right now, actually. But we just got a very delicious piece of it. A lot of tasty nuggets coming out of this. Tasty tendies, if you.
Yeah, but I'll let you keep hearing. But that was my whole thing. So you're talking about how we got Democrats here in power. Understand how they came to power. Democrats cheat wherever they fucking go. They cheat wherever they go. Right now in Georgia, they're having issues in Georgia going back over the 2020 shit that Trump got in trouble for. They're now investigating all that shit, and they're finding out all the Democrats that were lying about the votes back then. This is real shit. Here in Arizona, the reason why Democrats got in office, they weren't even fucking debating or not. They knew how to win. Use the wrong paper stock. If you use the wrong paper stock, none of these fucking votes will count. They did that shit. And everybody's like, man, look at all these votes the Democrats got. Because the Democrats, on the Democratic polls they sent out, they used the right stock. On the Republican tickets, they used the wrong stock on purpose. This is how the votes are the votes. The votes are the votes. So if you use the wrong paper stock on purpose to alter the fucking votes, that's called cheating. And you know you did it. And that's why it was a huge investigation. That's why a lot of people end up leaving Arizona. The people in the political atmosphere left Arizona because they were all getting busted for that shit. I'm telling you, man, you don't want to fuck with me when it comes to politics, man. I'm on my shit. And you still don't know what a fucking primary is. I mean, we're very much worlds apart when it comes to like politics. We're worlds apart. You still kindergarten level, and I got to explain shit from the get-go. And I done graduated, motherfucker. I'm grad school level with this shit. Trust me, I've been in this. When I said I was running for the IAP party with Scott Nader and all those guys, I was really running for the IAP party. I was supposed to be on the ticket in 2008 for the IAP. I was a Republican running on the Independent American Party's ticket. But I'm going to tell you right now, if you think you're going to sit here and tell motherfuckers, Trump didn't run in the primary, Trump what? Bruh, you're too slow for this, man. Way too slow for this. But I'm glad you fucking did this because to me, this is content that somebody out there needed to see. Somebody needed to see exactly how slow Democrats really are. They needed to see this for themselves because we try to explain that Democrats are doing shit and they don't even know what the fuck they doing. They have no idea what they even looking at. You prove that. People think I be lying when I say that. I don't lie. I don't have a reason to lie to nobody. I don't make this shit up to make Democrats seem worse than what they are. All they got to do is fucking start talking. They make themselves look like that. I mean, I can say, hey, this is what the president said. Oh, well, it don't matter. It don't matter because all the electoral college got her. You know, all of the delegates chose her. Well, the delegates didn't have a fucking choice now, did they? They didn't have a primary or a caucus. Well, they don't have to have a primary. If no, that's called the law. You have to follow the law when you elect the president. If you don't follow the law, guess what? You get investigated for it. You can be impeached for it. The election can be nullified for it. So if you think I'm worried about Kamala being president, the Democrats got a long fucking way to prove all the shit they doing is even legal. Supreme Court gonna get a hold of all this shit and see everything y'all gonna do, all the fucking twerking y'all watching Meg Thee Stallion do, all the records y'all hear D Nice fucking spinning. All this ain't gonna mean shit when the Supreme Court get a hold of it. They live currently 90. Oh damn, they went back down. They was up to 9. They dropped 20 cents that fast. So all this shit ain't gonna make no sense. And y'all gonna be mad as hell. Well, Trump. That's what Trump. That's exactly what y'all gonna say. Well, Trump. I say, well, guess what? You can't just sit there and just make up shit in an election and kind of do what you want to do. There's laws you have to abide by. If you can't abide by the laws to win an election, that makes it a frivolous election. Wait a minute. Let me get out of here. There we go. Damn. Yep. They got as high as 980. They went up to 980 and they dropped all the way back down to 964. So they dropped 16 cents. Man, they're making money all day. Look at these dips. They're making money on all these dips. That short money, the quick little gain. Right here, another short money. They're going to make another gain. They're going to do this shit all day, man. They finna make money all day. Man. Yeah, but it's about 10 o'clock, almost 10. So my video drops in actually 10 minutes. So Tardy, thank you for your questions. I mean, somebody out there need to know this shit. Somebody need to know it. So I'm glad I actually put that on this video, the election process, how things really go. The fact that the Supreme Court can look over this and say, since it was all illegal, we have to nullify this election. It was all illegal. And that means none of this shit's going to make a difference. None of it's going to make a difference. Everything the Democrats are doing is going to nullify their victory. And now they're going to be sitting around like mad as hell. Well, why'd they choose her? Why'd they let her run? Why'd they let her spend all that money? Why'd they let us all get riled up? I'm like, it's not why did you guys do it? Why'd you wear a mask on your fucking face riding in the car by yourself? Why'd you wear a mask jogging around? Why'd you wear a mask to sleep? Why'd you wear a mask in the shower? I mean, ask yourself why. Don't ask why people told you to do it. Ask yourself why you did it. That's the thing I'm saying. So all this Kamala shit, don't worry about what all these Democrats are doing, all these politicians are doing, all these, because they are making tons of money off of stupidity right now. They're getting a ton of money off of donations, off of stupidity, off of people just throwing money in the pot. And everybody's sitting around like, y'all know all this shit's not gonna work, right? Because in the end, yeah, it's going. Oh, but they can't bury it. They can't bury it. We have a Supreme Court now, and that Supreme Court is going to fucking eat into this shit. Trust me. The Supreme Court is just waiting. Just like they tried to pull all that shit with President Trump about, you know, the court documents and all that, or the documents he had, but he was president. Presidents have immunity. They can do whatever they want to do with the documents because they can move as long as he's president. He can touch any document and declassify any document as long as he's president. When he's not the president, then it's a crime. At the time frame that he was doing all of that stuff, he was still president at the time. He wasn't voted out. He was still president. Therefore, if I'm president today on August the 12th, and I say, I'm going to move all these documents on August the 12th over to this building on August the 12th. I move them on August the 12th. You find the documents after I'm no longer president. First thing you're going to say is, when did you move the documents? August the 12th. Yeah, but you're not the president now. No, I'm not, but I moved the documents on August the 12th. I was president August the 12th. Yeah, but you're not the president now. Doesn't make a difference now. I didn't move the documents right now. Did I go to the White House right now to get the documents? No. The documents have been here since August the 12th. Oh, okay. You're granted immunity from that shit right off the bat because I'm the president. I can move the documents on August the 12th. You got to look at the time frame. Everything has a timestamp on it. Everything has a timestamp. That's why when I make my videos, say the time, say the date, because everything has a timestamp on it. When you're an accountant, you know that. People who don't realize that, I don't care what date it was. I don't care how that, it doesn't matter what you care, what not. Everything has a timestamp on it. Exactly. Each party makes their own rules for their primary. That's why Kenny didn't run as a Dem. Joe released his delegates to vote for Kamala to get her on the November ballot. Yeah, but that's the thing. It's not up to Joe to release the delegates. He can't release them. He can't give them to him. I'll say, can a president, watch this. Our convention delegates about, wait a minute, let me see something. Let's say transfer instead of pass, transfer. Okay. Okay, let's see something. Let's open this up. Oh, come on, thing. I hate when that shit accept all cookies. There. I can't. No, I don't like this one because this one's inside some kind of political form right here. Democrat delegate rules 2024. Oh, this is on Ballotpedia. I don't like this either. This one is another one where, see, if the website don't look official, I don't mess with it because a lot of this shit looks like it's just typed in. I don't like that. Yeah, let's go out of this one. I'm looking for actual real websites of shit that I've heard of before. Oh, let's see. Would it be? Okay, wait a minute. No, that's in the, it's the same thing. They keep giving me all these Ballotpedia. I don't know what because Ballotpedia to me sounds like Wikipedia. I'm not doing that. All right. Let's see. Okay, July the 18th. All right, this is the British BBC. All right. Let me see something. Let me go down here. The Democrats are purportedly planning to nominate Mr. Biden vice president virtually ahead of the gathering. All right. This year, Mr. Biden won almost 99% of the 4,000 delegates. Okay, let me go in here. So here we go right here. It said, this is the Democrats are reportedly denominating. It's the DNC. Okay, the party's nominee will officially be chosen at the DNC in Chicago, August of that. Then it says their candidate must win support from the majority delegate party officials who formally chose the nominee. Delegates are assigned to candidates proportionally based on the result of each state's primary election. Right here, delegates are assigned to candidates proportionately based on the results of each state's primary election. Hold on to that sentence because a lot of people want to act like that sentence doesn't make it. Every time we say the word primary, motherfuckers get the hives. Oh. Each state has to have a primary. And with that primary, those delegates are assigned to candidates. This year, Mr. Biden won almost 99% of nearly 4,000 delegates. According to the DNC rules, those delegates are pledged to support the incumbent president. Pledged. If Mr. Biden willingly drops out, it could turn into a free-for-all. Democrats will be left with an open convention where they will suggest potential nominees and continue voting until one receives the majority of the delegate votes. So the Democrats have to present potential nominees and continue voting until one receives the majority of delegate votes. You never saw any Democrat ever vote, because it says Democrats would be left with an open convention where they would suggest potential nominees and continue voting until one receives the majority of delegate votes. This could spark a frantic contest among Democrats vying for a shot at the nomination. Mr. Biden has so far given no indication that he would consider stepping aside. Could he be forced out? That's all that stuff. It says, however, DNC rules do have some loopholes that could, in theory, make it possible to push Mr. Biden out. The rule allows delegates in all good conscience to reflect the sentiments of those who elected them, meaning they could look for someone else. So that means the delegates could go look for someone else, but not be given for someone else, which means they have to go back to vote. Like back up here again, like I said, a sentence. Continue voting until one receives the majority of delegate votes. There was never any votes. There was never. The party shifted from one open convention process with delegate cast ballots to a bound process where delegates was attached to the candidate based on primary results. It said, but the DNC can alter party rules at any point. Ms. Wright Riggener pointed to 1968 when Lyndon B. Johnson decided not to run for re-election. So when Lyndon B. Johnson decided not to run for re-election, the party shifted from an open convention process in which delegates could cast ballots for whomever they chose to a bound process where a delegate was attached to the candidate based on primary results. In every instant, there's been a primary election in every single instant. What happened if someone died and they had to replace? If someone died, the presidential rule says the vice president assumes the presidency. The vice president assumes the presidency, but that doesn't mean, but that's only for the rest of that term. She still has to pass a primary if she wants to run for re-election, like everybody has to pass a primary to run for re-election. You have to have a primary. A primary means the first step you have to take in order to become president, a primary. He says, Trump has no chance in this election, but all good, my bro. Hey, if you feel that way, brother, hey, more power to you, man. This is, hey, when I join on live and see that hat, I know shit's getting serious. I know it, man. We in this. But yeah, and that's why Wikipedia. That's why I see stuff that says like, you know, Politicalpedia, whatever. I keep that shit moving. I don't look at that, man. So the thing is, if Biden actually passed away, that means Kamala Harris would assume the presidential position. But that doesn't mean she assumes the presidential position. She assumes his campaign, all his campaign. No, it doesn't happen like that. You have to have a vote. Without a vote, you're done. And that's just how it works, man. And everybody wants to abate the law. They want to say, no, that's not how it works. Well, we want to make a new law. Then you got to vote and make it a new law. You got to vote and make it a new law. So Tardy is a troll. I know it. All right, man. There was a cutoff last week to be on Ohio's ballot. She would not have won any primaries. They did the vote on the virtual. Will make it official at the convention. Obama wanted this open convention. Exactly. And that's how they all got screwed. Say not died as a president, as a nominee. Or if you die as a nominee, then you're dead as a nominee. You're dead as a nominee. It's like, if I'm dead as a voter, my vote don't get passed on to somebody else. I'm a dead voter. That vote dies. If you're a nominee, and you die in a plane wreck or some shit like that, you're a dead nominee. That means they got to have another. You either got to say, hey, we need to have another election. We're going to have a funeral, and then we'll have another election. But you can't say, hey, we're going to have a funeral, and then the person that died, we're just going to elect the person that died. You can't have a dead person run the country. That whole process is null and void then. It's all back over in the beginning again. That's how it goes. So you can't vote for a dead person, man. A dead person can't vote, and you can't vote for a dead person. It don't work like that. But anyways, man, it's 10 o'clock. My other video just dropped. I got to actually get my button here to eat something because I said I was going to be off by like 9. We keep this thing going, man. 3.5 hours. 3.5 hours. Appreciate you guys this morning for rocking with me, man. Thank you guys for the super chats. Real, man. Much love on that. Because when I get on this thing, YouTube don't take care of me, but that's cool. You guys do. And I appreciate that shit, man. So I'm going to go in here, grab me some breakfast. Another video just dropped like a minute ago. So check that out. I think it's pretty funny. You know me, I always make some funny videos, but it's about the airport. Check it out. It's about the airport here at Sky Harbor. And I think you guys are going to kind of like this one. Hopefully it spreads and other airports do the same thing. I'm going to check y'all later, man. I got another live dropping probably later on. I'm going to go out and drive. All right, Miss Chris D, I'll see you later, lady. You guys enjoy that video about the airport. We're coming. We coming for our money, baby. We to 300.